fairly lengthy IL stints this season, one in the middle of the year and one now. But he was so massive. And I think back, you always, like, it's hard to remember the games in April or May when it's like one win or one loss this way could have been, such a big difference in your season. But I think back to the final game before the All-Star break. They were no hit the day before by Matt Manning against the Tigers. They had barely any hits against the Tigers and were down 3-1 in the top of the ninth. And Danny Jansen hits a game-tying 2-run home run to make it 3-3. Nathan Lucas comes up with the go-ahead extra base hit to drive in a run in the top of the 10th, and the Blue Jays pick up the win, the series win going into the break. I just feel like if he doesn't come up with that hit and you lose that game, could have been a very different second half and a very different season. So Danny deserves his credit. I will say to, like, Perry and Whitby and Dale and Newcastle and some others, it is Bo Bichette. Like,
David and Brampton.
Yeah, I don't think any of us think it's not Bo Bichette. It's just like boring talk radio to be like, she says Bo, and then it's like, yeah, Bo, and who's next? Gosman. Who was the surprise? Schneider. Yeah, so like we gotta bring some perspectives in. But there were a lot of guys. I mean, when you make the playoff by one game, you were talking about this in respect to Davis Schneider. Everyone had to do something. Like, there were games that Espinal won this year, and Kirk won this year, and Nathan Lucas won this year. Tyler Heineman helped them win games this year. Every single guy that played for the Blue Jays. Dare I say Paul DeYoung helped them probably win at least one or two games this year at some point. Maybe. I'll have to go watch the tape. But a lot of people contributed. Bo probably the most.
Paul DeYoung had to help the Giants win a game or so, I think, in that one game where he had 4 RBI.
Yeah, crazy thing is he almost had no hits after that. They DFA'd him.
They also DFA'd him. So
hopefully it works out for him going forward. It's not like he intended for things to go poorly.
I look forward to using Paul DeYoung in an immaculate grid spot for the Jays
awesome
and Giants.
For immaculate grid. Him and Ernie Clement are like Ernie Clement, A's, Guardians, and Blue Jays. That's a beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 0.0 something pick in the immaculate grid.
I put him in for Jays A's once, and it was 1%.
Really?
And I was like, you nut jobs. How do you know this? Like, why do 1% of the people pay attention to that? But, the grid people are hardcore.
Some more text here, 590. I see here. Well, this one's just from Colin. It's a very nice text. It just says, I want to say congratulations to the Blue Jays on making the playoffs. It was strange cheering on the Rangers last night. You know what? I agree with Colin. I felt kind of dirty after cheering for the Rangers. And afterwards, I tweeted, I have never said anything bad about the Rangers ever in the history of my quote-unquote long career.
Yeah.
I challenge you to find anything I've ever said negatively about any of the Texas Rangers ever. No, it's seriously. It was a little weird cheering for the Rangers, but I think that game last night encapsulates the idea that nothing is a done deal in baseball.
Yeah.
You throw out Luis Castillo against Andrew Heaney, and Andrew Heaney is the one who goes out there and shoves, and Luis Castillo gets blown up. Like your ace guy who you spent a bunch of assets to acquire the year before, who essentially shoved against the Blue Jays at the Rogers Center. Like that is not something you could have really directly predicted. And I know the start prior, Luis Castillo had not had a great start prior to that either, but he is probably as close to being an ace as there is on the Mariners roster. I know there are other good pitchers like Logan Gilbert and George Kirby and so on, but I mean that just encapsulates the idea that, like, there's no such thing as guaranteed wins or losses.
Yeah, Castillo's getting Cy Young votes this year, and like he hadn't been yanked out before the 5th in any start this year until that. It was a weird day. It kind of reminded me like 3 weeks ago when the Yankees and Red Sox are more in it, but more the Red Sox at that point. I remember the Yankees were playing them, and it's like, well, you got to root for the Yankees here. Go for a sweep, and it's like, yay, Gleyber Torres with a double, and you just feel awkward about it overall. But I mean, Colin, I think taking an approach that at least. I tend to be a little more optimistic about these things too. It's like, sure, should they have won 100 games? Maybe. Should they have won division? Yeah. But it is, again, and I've said this a lot of times, the 10th time they've ever made the playoffs. And if you don't count 2020, which I kind of don't, the 9th time they've ever made the playoffs. So it's certainly an accomplishment in itself. This is a team that was non-competitive from 1993 to 2015. Right. So you have to be, this will be, I believe, their, 5th time in the playoffs if you do count 2020 in the last, 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, they're at least, if nothing else, you'd much rather, and I've learned this from time following the Leafs as well when they were absolutely terrible and then in their current state, I'd still rather be stressed out and throwing stuff and biting my nails from a playoff defeat than not having the games matter at all. And so this is better than some alternatives, even if it's not the greatest option of all.
We have a couple minutes left here, Ben, and
there is a game today.
Yes, there is a game today, and we'll wrap up in a couple of minutes on the various scenarios. We did it at the very beginning of the show. It was like 2 hours ago. We'll do one more time before we say goodbye. But real quick, I wanted to get to the lineups for today's game for both the Rays and the Blue Jays. We'll start with John Schneider's lineup card. So Whit Merrifield is batting leadoff. He is in right field today. So no George Springer. George Springer will start this game on the bench. Brandon Belt will be in this game. He is batting second. He is DHing today. Bo Bichette is batting third. He is at shortstop, batting fourth. Davis Babe Schneider, he is at second base. Batting fifth is Kevin Biggio. He is at first base, so no Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to start this game. Batting sixth is Santiago Espinal. He is at third base. No Matt Chapman to start this game. Dalton Varsho is in center field. He is batting seventh. No Kevin Kiermaier to start this game. Tyler Heineman, as you might imagine, and as you said, is catching today. He is batting eighth and batting ninth in left field. The speedy Cam Eden. So all of Kiermaier, Springer, Chapman, Guerrero, and Kirk start this game on the bench, which is probably largely what you expected.
Yeah, it was like they had kind of, including Belt, one guy that was going to have to DH.
Yeah.
And it was just, is it going to be Belt? Is it going to be Vlad? Is it going to be Springer? And I don't know this, but perhaps, Belt hasn't played as much recently. Maybe he was feeling better today than yesterday, wants to get out there, get some swings, so 2 days from now he's feeling as fresh as can be going into that series. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool day for Cam Eden. It's a cool day for a lot of these guys who get to start 162, and we'll see what happens. Maybe some unsuspecting big hits from some guys that we didn't see coming near the bottom of that order.
Crossing my fingers that Davis Schneider helps make my underrated player of the year a little more sexy today. We'll have to see. This is Kevin Cash's lineup today, and again, a lot of the regulars like Yandy Diaz and Randy Rosarena specifically not in the lineup for Tampa today. But Junior Caminero batting leadoff. He's at short. Josh Lowe is in right. He is batting second. Batting third, Harold Ramirez is DHing. Isaac Paredes is batting cleanup. He is at third base. Jonathan Aranda is batting fifth. He is at first base. Curtis Mead is batting sixth. He's at second. Manuel Margot is batting seventh in center field. Raimel Tapia, old pal, working the walk yesterday in a late against Jordan Hicks. He's batting eighth. He's in left field. And Rene Pinto is batting ninth, and he is catching today for Christian Bethancourt. So that is the lineup for the Rays. And again, it seems about right to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kevin Cash has
not a lot
of
insight on that one.
Why is Josh Lowe batting second and not third? Yeah, it does not matter. Probably just I have a strong suspicion that even for an analytics-heavy organization like the Rays, Kevin Cash probably went into the clubhouse and said, "Hey, who wants to play today?
Yeah,
Yandy, put your hand down. Randy Rosarena, put your hand down. You guys are not playing. Anyone else can play."
Yeah, I mean they do have Harold Ramirez and Isaac Paredes in there. It's a formidable lineup.
But hey, look, Isaac Paredes is 2 RBI away from getting 100 runs in the season. That might be something to play for.
And I will say something to watch is Yandy Diaz not playing today. Corey Seager for Texas playing today.
That's right.
They are separated by not even numbers that you would see on a typical 3-digit batting average. They're both hitting 329 and then add more on. For Seager, it's 3.298, and for Diaz, it's 3.295. So if Corey Seager goes 1 for 4 today, Yandy Diaz could back into the batting title.
Maybe if Seager is 1 for 3 or whatever, or 0 for 3, maybe he gets yanked. Maybe a pinch hit Yandy Diaz.
Yeah, you're let's capitalize while we can. But
real quick before we go, Ben.
Yes.
The clinching scenarios. Someone was asking about it on the text line. Martin and Niagara, who has to win today? So the Blue Jays play Tampa on Tuesday. I'll put it this way. If the Astros win, those are the scenarios in which the Blue Jays play the Rays. If the Astros lose at all, the Blue Jays will play the Rays.
Yeah, there is a chance that the Astros win and the Blue Jays still end up playing the Rays, but for the most part, you look to the Astros first. If the Astros win and Texas loses, the Blue Jays are not playing Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Then they are for sure playing Minnesota. Go check out Dan Schulman, Mike Gentili, Arden Zwelling's Twitter, some of the other Sportsnet people. They've posted the various graphics.
Yeah, 5 of the 8 scenarios, the Blue Jays go to Tampa, and 3 of them, they go to Minnesota. Ben, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, great doing it with you all year, and one more day here today.
That is Ben Schulman. I'm Shoat Lee. That does it for the Blue Jays pregame show. It's been a lot of fun doing these shows with you guys as well all season long. Ben Wagner and Chris LaRue are next with the call first pitch, 3:07 p.m. Eastern, 12:07 p.m. Pacific. Enjoy this, everyone. We'll talk to you later.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check,
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
Bosch tools are built for workers. The Bosch X-Lock grinder switches wheels up to 5 times faster than standard grinders, helping you go from grinding to cutting more quickly. Bosch tools, what hard workers deserve. Learn more at BoschTools.com.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Brew, and Panda Express is celebrating all the different personal rituals we have around their delicious classics. Like my go-to is the orange chicken, which I get doubles for every time. But check this out. To celebrate their 40th anniversary, they're offering a sweet new treat, an apple pie roll. I mean, say less. Juicy apples, fall spices, finished off with a cinnamon sugar for a delicious treat. Sign me up. However you Panda. Order yours today. Visit pandaexpress.com or download the app to find a location near you.
If you've been injured and you want a fast, low-ball settlement, do not call Horwitz & Associates. Maybe you want to make it easy for insurance companies, or you're just not interested in getting back pay. Clearly, you have plenty of cash on hand for all your medical bills. But if you need a lawyer that will fight for you and everything you deserve, go to HorwitzLaw.com. We've recovered millions on behalf of injured workers who were previously denied. Horwitz & Associates. We make it easy for you and hard for everyone else.
Hi, I'm Cliff Horwitz. Visit me at HorwitzLaw.com.
Count on Lowe's for innovative, award-winning laundry pairs. Right now, get an extra $100 off select laundry pairs, including the best overall washer and dryer set of 2023 from Electrolux. It uses innovative Smart Boost technology to pre-mix laundry detergent with water before the wash for better stain removal and cleaner clothes. Visit Lowe's today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details. 2023 Editor's Choice, Review.com, USA Today Network.
When making a real estate purchase, partner with an agent who is a realtor. We're experts in what we do, with access to exclusive tools and proprietary market data. We're Realtors, members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series trucks to help save the day, stretch the weekend, haul or tow just about anything, anywhere. That's because they're built Ford tough. And it's why Ford F-Series are America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. And for that, we thank you. Because this isn't just about our capability, it's about yours. Shop F-Series at your local Ford dealer. Claim based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
Boomer Esiason here. We all know life is complicated, and sometimes all you want to do is enjoy the peacefulness of the backyard with friends and family. Now, Solo Stove fire pits are the simplest and fastest way to relax around a crackling fire without all the smoke other fire pits make. Now, with the Solo Stove, it's never been easier to gather around the fire. And take it from me, I use mine all the time. Even bought some for the guys right here on the show. Order now at solostove.com, and you'll find big discounts on fire pits with their fall event. Visit solostove.com.
You've always had a plan for your family, at work, and in retirement. Have you thought about your end-of-life plans? What are your options? Catholic Cemeteries offers a free planning guide that can help. Catholic Cemeteries pre-planning advisors will work with you to make the best decision for you and your family. They'll even come to your home if you prefer. Get peace of mind. Schedule a consultation today. 708-236-5490. That's 708-236-5490. Or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org.
A little more. Bel Air Direct. Insurance simplified. Conditions apply.
CJCL Toronto. This.
It's carrying well, and it is gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swinging on this. He struck him out with a fastball to finish the ball game.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. This afternoon, the Toronto Blue Jays will close out their 3-game series and the regular season, taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Welcome to October baseball, where the Blue Jays will be playing more than just 162. Last night, Toronto clinched a berth into the postseason, assuring everyone there will be more fall ball in the future. It's a pleasure to bring you to the broadcast booth. I'm Ben Wagner, next to Chris LaRue. Show Ali is alongside. Behind the scenes today, Armin Zargarian, Drew Adams, and Tom Young will help bring you the broadcast. This is Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. While the team makes the push for the postseason, make sure you're prepping your ride for cold weather with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today at crown.com for the location nearest you. The Blue Jays were set back in extra innings yesterday. Then they had to wait and see what the future held. Well, good news, because the Texas Rangers helped the Blue Jays with a win last night, securing a berth into the American League wild card. Destination still unknown, but by the end of today, with everybody getting started the same time the Rays and the Blue Jays do, we will know the next stop in the American League wildcard race for the Blue Jays. It'll leave it to Trop on Tuesday or in St. Paul, in the Twin Cities, St. Paul, Minneapolis in Minnesota. So lots to watch on the out-of-town scoreboard and plenty of fun to have over the next 9 frames. Blue Jays baseball, Sunday afternoon style, coming up for you next on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
With the price of a new vehicle, I'm not buying one anytime soon.
Have you decided to keep your vehicle longer? With rising prices and reduced inventory, you're not the only one. Crown is here to help. Our annual rust protection program will keep your vehicle looking great and lasting longer. And it doesn't cost much more than a tank of gas these days.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Brew, and Panda Express is celebrating all the different personal rituals we have around their delicious classics. Like my go-to is the orange chicken, which I get doubles for every time. But check this out. To celebrate their 40th anniversary, they're offering a sweet new treat, an apple pie roll. I mean, say less. Juicy apples, fall spices, finished off with a cinnamon sugar for a delicious treat. Sign me up. However you Panda. Order yours today. Visit pandaexpress.com or download the app to find a location near you.
if the Rangers win this game, the Blue Jays will clinch, and they can save Gossman, who is in line to pitch tomorrow. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Leclerc gets the final out. This Rangers bullpen up to the task. And for the first time since 2016, the Texas Rangers will play in October.
I think the biggest thing is that we control everything, right? That's the biggest thing. It's hectic and it's, stressful and all that kind of stuff. It's exciting. Yeah, it's up and down, it's back and forth, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we control our own fate. So, that part of it feels really good.
The final out from last night in the Pacific Northwest, delivered by my good friend Aaron Goldsmith and John Smoltz on the Fox TV broadcast last night, as the Texas Rangers secured a spot in the American League postseason and also helped the Blue Jays punch the ticket. And then the reaction from the Blue Jays skipper, manager John Schneider, joining us ahead of this afternoon's first pitch. There is still plenty to be decided, but the Blue Jays know that the bags are packed and they do have a destination, and that final stop will be the American League wild card that begins on Tuesday for Major League Baseball. There are now 8 different scenarios for the Toronto Blue Jays in their future. They can win and be the 5 or the 6 seed. They can still lose and be the 5 or the 6 seed. So a trip to the Trop as the number 5 seed and locking up against the same Tampa Bay Rays, or you go in as the number 6 seed in the American League postseason bracket and you get a date with one of the division winners, that being the lightest overall record, and it belongs to the Minnesota Twins. So plenty to watch on the out-of-town scoreboard and a lot of fun over the next 3 hours for the Blue Jays and the Rays as they duke it out in game number 162. Welcome to the broadcast booth on another spectacular afternoon here in downtown Toronto. The roof has been rolled back since the middle of the morning. It has been spectacular weather, plenty of sunshine, light blue, light cloud cover above us, hardly a breeze rippling through the ballpark as the Blue Jays get set to take the field behind Wes Parsons, who will make his Blue Jays debut today, and a number of role players get a starting nod for manager John Schneider, who can take his foot off the accelerator for today, backing up Kevin Gausman for game number 1 in the American League wildcard race, and then stacking up Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett to set the stage in game 2 or game 3. So certainly the Blue Jays are taking a step forward into the postseason with the way that they're rolling out the lineup and including their starting pitcher today. But they, of course, are worried about getting a 90th win. And Chris LaRue, I think any team that takes the field completion of the season, if you can get to 90 wins, that means a little bit extra, kind of like batting 300 to close out a regular season.
I think it's a feather in the cap for this team. There's been so many ups and downs this year with their offense, with their, obviously, the Alek Manoah storyline. There's been so many things that have gone poorly for this Jays team. So to be able to get to 90 wins, that's such a great milestone. With that being said, I would much rather be in Minnesota.
Why? All right, because it's Sonny Gray, it's Pablo Lopez. That's the 1-2 punch.
So I was actually just talking to Dan Schulman about this. He also would like to be in Minnesota, not for any particular reason, just that Minnesota has more of a October baseball feel to it. And Tampa just feels like every other day because you have the Dome. We're not sure how many people are going to be there. I truly would rather face a good Sonny Gray than a good Tyler Glasnow. I don't know why, but Tyler Glasnow just scares me. Standing next to him scares me. His stuff scares me. He could be terrible, but he could be Garrett Cole on any given night, and that scares me.
We're going to get to know Wes Parsons this afternoon. He's making his Blue Jays debut. Junior Caminero leads off and swings to the first pitch. Deep in the hole at short. Backhanded pickup by Bichette. Wings it over to first in time. 1 pitch and 1 out. 162 is officially underway for the Blue Jays here this afternoon. Caminero, Josh Lowe, Harold Ramirez, 1, 2, and 3. Defensively for the Blue Jays this afternoon, Cameron Eden starts in left field. This is his first start in the majors. Dalton Varsho is in center. Whit Merrifield is in right. Santiago Espinal, with no Matt Chapman in the lineup, patrols third. Here's Lowe, the left-handed batter. Takes down and in, ball 1. Bo Bichette, a nice play at shortstop, ranging to his right. Now drifts towards his left, playing in the middle of the diamond. Davis Schneider's at second, and Kevin Biggio's at first. The 1-0. On the inside corner, called strike, and it's 1-1. Tyler Heineman is on the back half of the battery, working with somebody that he caught in AAA Buffalo. Parsons, big frame, uncoils, and a fastball is down and in. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike on low. Don't pay attention to this lineup for Kevin Cash. This is certainly not how he'll stack them if the Blue Jays and the Rays start in the American League wildcard on Tuesday. Low swings at the 2-1 and taps it away foul. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is no Yandy Diaz in this lineup today, and this is somebody that's trying to become the first Tampa Bay Ray to ever win a batting title. 2-2, down to the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're watching the out-of-town scoreboard all afternoon, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, to see what the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners are up to, as well as Houston in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. 3-2, in the air out to center. Couple of steps backwards. Varsho is there. Routine fly ball. One-handed squeeze, and there are 2 down. Taking a step further, not only the results, but without Yandy Diaz in this lineup, he might back his way in to an American League batting title if Corey Seager has a tough day at the plate. Those are the 1 and the 2 battles right now for a batting championship. Harold Ramirez, the hitter. The pitch. Fastball poured over for strike 1.
Of course, Corey Seager in that lineup because Texas is still playing for something.
Right.
Tampa has the luxury of putting whatever lineup they want out there.
The 0-1. Liner out to right field. Merrifield, late break, races back, reaches out. That ball is over his head, up against the right field wall, and it turns into be a long single for Harold Ramirez. That'll bring up Isaac Paredes. A 2-out base runner for Tampa Bay. You mentioned the Rangers playing for something. Yes, that is the case. They want the American League Western Division Championship. 3 huge scenarios around Texas, Houston, and Toronto. Pitch to Paredes. Down and away, ball 1.
There's 0 chance of Toronto getting that first round bye, of course, but Houston and Texas are both very much in play for that first round bye.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Going into yesterday, the 3 teams that were pushing for the West. 1-0. That's ripped up the left field line, out of play, foul for strike 1. You look at Texas, Houston, and as of last night, the Seattle Mariners. All 3 of those teams, if they could have pulled out a victory, in the case of the Mariners, but all 3 were in consideration for 1, winning the West, or also missing the playoffs completely. 1-1, down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Whoever made the schedule for the last week of the season needs a raise.
No kidding. Just a thrilling finish to the campaign. Paredes takes on the inside corner, and the count evens up at 2-2. The Houston Astros already are on the board in the first inning. Alex Bregman thrives in October. His home run making it 2-0 Astros. That's a check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The 2-2, fouled back by Paredes. And it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Looking at all the scenarios, I have no idea what that means.
If Houston wins, Texas wins, and the Blue Jays win, the West is still controlled by Texas. The 2-2, just outside at 94 miles an hour. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's amazing when so much emphasis, especially in the month of September, the soft pocket that we identified, and Blue Jays went 10-5 against sub-500 teams in. 3-2, down and away, ball 4. Couple on with 2 down here in this first inning. Ultimately, a win and a loss doesn't matter to the Blue Jays. They just need to play the game. What happens around them will dictate where they go. Runners on at first and second. 2 away for the left-handed batting Jonathan Aranda. Parsons straightens in the stretch. The pitch. fouled away. Last weekend, Wes Parsons was put on the taxi squad. He was in Tampa Bay with the Blue Jays working out through a bullpen session. This is just no surprise that Wes Parsons is the guy tapped over Bowden Francis in this starting assignment. The 0-1 pitch, pulled foul. No balls and 2 strikes.
I have no problem with Wes Parsons starting this game. Just watching him early, he's got very good stuff. Good enough to be starting in this game 162. But I'll tell you this. I hate what they did to Jay Jackson.
Designated for assignment today. That opened the spot on the active roster and also opened a 40-man spot to get Wes Parsons aboard on the 40-man. Jay Jackson designated for assignment. Now he can clear waivers. He can come back and still be active if the Blue Jays want to use him in the postseason. The 0-2 ripped up the right field line and hooked into the seats.
For me, it's not about him being able to come back and being active and all those things that could very well happen. It's just a respect thing. It just looks, from my point of view, I've been through that scenario where I've been designated. I don't think I've been. I should have been designated. Things like that. It's just a respect thing from the club.
0-2, a low liner through the right side, a base hit. Coming around third, they want to score Ramirez. Merrifield up with a throw on a bounce. The play at the plate, not in time. The Rays have a 1-0 lead. A good cut around third by Ramirez. He slid under the high hop as it hit the glove of Tyler Heineman and slides in to make it 1-0 on the Jonathan Aranda RBI single.
Not a bad pitch from Wes Parsons. That slow breaking ball down in the zone, and Aranda just smacks it into right field. Pretty good piece of hitting right there.
1-0 Tampa Bay here in the first. All the noise around the right-hander with 2 out. A single, a walk, and now the RBI base hit. First and third. Curtis Mead, the batter. Takes outside, ball 1. We're in the first inning, being brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com for more.
In Buffalo this year, Wes Parsons was 9-4 with a 4.52 ERA, but the numbers that kind of jump out at me are he walked 45 guys in 81 2/3 innings.
Too many.
A little bit. So that walk early on in this game didn't surprise me one bit.
You know, I had a conversation on the field the other day with General Manager Ross Atkins, and I asked specifically about some of the numbers. Are they surprising with some of the guys that have pitched essentially so well? The 1-0. Meade takes on the outside corner, called strike, 1-1. And the Blue Jays have looked at a lot of the data, the things that they love. Some of the peripherals, spin rate, how a guy is throwing a ball, the trajectory, the depth, all those things. The 1-1, that's low, 2 balls and 1 strike. But he also felt that a number of the starters, especially the big bulk guys that are in Buffalo this year, were victimized because of the ABS system, the automatic balls and strikes, where you can't manipulate a lineup, you can't manipulate an umpire. The 2-1. On the inside corner, a called strike, and it's 2-2.
And that strike right there probably would have been called a ball in Buffalo.
Exactly. That is the exact thing, and why don't read too deep into the numbers this year for what some of the guys coming up from AAA have posted. The 2-2. Bounce to the plate, shoots over to the right, jogging down the line, and then powering down. Paredes thought coming down the line might be in his future, but once Tyler Heineman found that baseball, he stopped about halfway down the line.
And that was a great block by Tyler Heineman. That curveball bounced in front of the plate in the other batter's box, and he did a great job of sliding over and getting to it. Ricocheted off his chest protector, and he went over and got that ball. What a great job saving a run.
Aranda takes second base on the wild pitch. 3-2. Fastball's up and in. Second walk in 3 face, plus the RBI base hit, making it 1-0 Tampa Bay.
And again, he was walking over 4.5 guys per 9. That's not a very good ratio.
He's got the bases loaded now. And Manuel Margot coming up. Parsons steals. There's a swing and a liner out to left. Cameron Eden has it gauged. And his first play in the big leagues in the outfield, he hauls it in. Minimizing the damage is just 1-0 Tampa Bay after the Rays' first at bat. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
From Rust, Crown, protect, maintain, save.
Join Bet365 now and discover the power of the world's favorite sportsbook. Watch thousands of live games. Build your own bet. You can even bet on games while they're still being played. Seriously. And if you
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Tampa Bay won Toronto's first at bat with Whit Merrifield, Brandon Belt, and Bo Bichette. Coming up to face Jacob Lopez, who's making his first start in the major leagues. Lefty exhales and deals. Merrifield takes down an in ball one. Lopez does have a cup of coffee already this season. He's made 3 appearances for Tampa Bay out of the bullpen. Infield back, the 1-0. Hit on the ground to the shortstop. Caminero a step to his right, slings it towards first, and Merrifield's retired, leading it off for Toronto. It's a rejig lineup. Blue Jays want to see a little bit more from Brandon Belt before the off day. They're kind of easing him back into everyday competition. That's why when he came off the injured list, he started right away, got an off day. Started right away, got another off day. That was yesterday. And now he's back on the card today, DHing. Pitch to Belt in the air, out to left. Moving through the shadows. Raimel Tapia is there, and there are 2 down. Once again, we're watching the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard today. Houston, on the strength of Alex Bregman, in front in the first, 2-0. Also, the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers are locked up. Every time I go to look at what's going on between Texas and Seattle, I seem to be in a commercial break. That really drives me nuts. Here's Bo Bichette. What a season for Bo. Lefty deals. Bo's taking on the way. Pitches outside, ball 1. 5 years in the big leagues, and here's Bo Bichette bringing a career .299 average with a .340 on base. 1-0. Bichette takes inside, 2 balls and no strikes. A .307 batting average with 30 doubles, a couple of triples, 20 home runs, and 73 driven in. 2-0. Bounding ball towards first. That's fair. Glove by Aranda, stepping over near the line, and he'll feed Lopez at first base to retire Bichette. Blue Jays done 1-2-3, trail 1-0. We go to the second. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Boomer Esiason here. We all know life is complicated, and sometimes all you want to do is enjoy the peacefulness of the backyard with friends and family. Now, Solo Stove fire pits are the simplest and fastest way to relax around a crackling fire without all the smoke other fire pits make. Now, with the Solo Stove, it's never been easier to gather around the fire. And take it from me, I use mine all the time. Even bought some for the guys right here on the show. Order now at solostove.com, and you'll find big discounts on fire pits with their fall event. Visit solostove.com.
Hey guys, have you heard of Collars & Co? Mark Cuban just invested $1 million in this company on Shark Tank. They make the original dress collar polo. It's a super soft 4-way stretch polo, but the top has a firm dress collar on it. So it gives you that dress shirt look, but with an extremely comfortable polo feel. They look sharp by themselves and killer with a sweater or blazer. They also have amazing long sleeve dress shirts, stretch chinos, and luxe quarter zips. Whether you're back to the office or looking to elevate your weekend looks, you've got to check them out. CollarsandCo.com. Use code TIKI for 15% off your first order.
Imagine a baseball team never losing a game.
Nope, can't do it. I'm from Chicago.
Imagine an injury lawyer never losing a case.
Can't see that either. Nobody bats 1,000.
In fact, Horwitz & Associates have never lost a case involving a truck accident.
Seriously?
Very seriously.
Oh.
The truck injury team at Horwitz & Associates includes lawyers, accident investigators, and financial experts that fight for everything you deserve.
Hi, I'm Cliff Horwitz. Visit me at horwitzlaw.com.
Park today. The results doesn't really matter much for the Blue Jays. Here this afternoon, they're watching the Texas Rangers, the Seattle Mariners, the Houston Astros, and the Arizona Diamondbacks as well to find out where to point the plane. Trailing 1-0, we go to the second. Raimel Tapia looks out. Wes Parsons deals. And the first pitch on the inside corner with strike one.
Guess what, Ben? I'm looking at that Rangers-Mariners game. It's middle of the second. Commercial break.
Yeah, exactly. The 0-1. Chopped off the plate. High hopper past the mound. Charging it at second. Schneider from the glove feeds first. Can't get the speed of Tapia. Infield single for the former Blue Jay.
And that was just an unlucky play for the Blue Jays. A soft roller to Davis Schneider. He made a really good play using just his glove, getting it over to Biggio at first base, but Tapia is just way too fast.
I'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the catcher Rene Pinto. We're in the second inning, being brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can bet on things like player props, totals, or game outcomes across many different sports. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Pitch up and away on Pinto. Tapia took off, and on the exchange, Heineman juggled and couldn't make a throw, so Tapia will get a swipe.
Even if Heineman caught that ball cleanly and made a perfect throw, Tapia would have been safe by 3 or 4 steps easily. He got such a great jump.
Sometimes you don't steal a base on the catcher. You can swipe it because of the pitcher. Big lead at second. The 1-0. Off the fist, a humpback liner into right center field. Down for a base hit. Tapia gets the stop sign at third. It's a Pinto single to put runners on the corners.
And because there's no outs, third base coach obviously is gonna hold Tapia at third base, but that's what speed does. You swipe a bag, little bloop base hit into center field, and that's a run. The Blue Jays don't have that in their lineup. I really wish they would have somebody that could steal a bag.
They do. His name's Cam Eden.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
Runners at first and third for the Rays. Nobody out. Back to the top of the order in Junior Caminero. The pitch. That's low. Ball 1. Now there's some underrated speed with Dalton Varsho, with Merrifield, Cam Eden. 2 of the 3 you know will be on the Blue Jays postseason roster. Cam Eden is likely going to get one of those spots when the Blue Jays go into the wild card, not necessarily needing to take all 13 pitchers. 1-0. Big swing and a miss by Caminero, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple days ago. Every postseason roster needs one guy that can swipe a bag at any time. I said Brian Roberts, but I meant Dave Roberts. 2004 Boston Red Sox, that was one of the biggest plays of that series and helped Boston win the World Series. Dave Roberts swiped that bag, and every team needs that.
Caminero with a ground ball middle of the diamond, reaching up. Bichette can't grab it. Tapia scores from third. Around second, on his way to third, goes Pinto on the RBI single for Junior Caminero. 2-0 Tampa Bay.
And again, just an unlucky hit up the middle. Caminero really didn't get much of that ball, but just out of the reach of Bo Bichette in center field.
6th RBI in the major leagues for the rookie. Still nobody out. First and third again for Tampa Bay. We're coming to you today from the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Wagner with Chris LaRue. You've got us today, and you're going to have us the entire postseason. Pitch to low. Down and in from Parsons, ball one. From the stretch, the right-hander readies. Long hold. Now the 1-0. That's drilled out of play off to the left. Pretty big moment and opportunity for Wes Parsons. A late sign in the minors by the Blue Jays. Turned just 31 earlier this month. Back in the major leagues for the first time in 4 years. Made 33 appearances between 2018 and 2019. Swing and a miss by Lowe. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And this is his first start in the big leagues. So you can imagine that his heart is racing right now.
The 1-2, fouled back. A couple of walks assisted, a run in the first. 3 straight singles here in the second, making it 2-0 Tampa Bay. One, 2. Down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of speculation over the last 24, 48 hours about what the Blue Jays would do with their rotation and who would get an assignment if Kevin Gausman wasn't needed today. The 2-2. That's down and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bowden Francis, of course, has been a guy that the Blue Jays have leaned on for length, but they're looking for somebody that even has more opportunity to pitch deeper into a ball game than what Bowden could have allowed the Blue Jays. Plus, then, they didn't want to give many Tampa Bay hitters an advanced scout on Bowden Francis in a matchup today. Move for the right-hander to first base, hustling back Caminero.
Like I said, I understand the reasoning for Wes Parsons starting. I just don't like how they did Jay Jackson dirty.
Well, he had a tremendous season for the Blue Jays and exceeded every expectation that the organization had for the right-hander. 3-2, past the dive of Biggio, slips over the first base bag fair. In to score is Pinto, rounding third. Getting the stop sign is Caminero on an RBI double from Josh Lowe. And it's 3-0 Tampa Bay.
And Wes Parsons is now at 40 pitches through just 1 inning of work. You know who they could use today? Take a guess.
Bowden Francis.
Jay Jackson.
Here comes the pitching coach, Pete Walker, out to the mound. Slow stroll, trying to slow it down for Wes Parsons. 4 straight hits for the Rays, 2 runs here in the second. 3-0 Tampa Bay.
And there really hasn't been all that much hard contact off of Wes Parsons. He's pitched well. He has fallen behind in the count a little bit, and that's to be expected with his numbers in AAA this year. But he can get through this. The job for him right now is to save that bullpen, throw as many pitches as possible, keep the Blue Jays in this game, 3-0, 4-0, give them a chance to win, or at least save the bullpen. That should be priority number 1 for Wes Parsons right now.
Harold Ramirez at the plate. The pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. Harold Ramirez yesterday really knocked the wind out of the sails for Blue Jay fans when he tied the game with a 2-run home run. And that led to the Blue Jays going to extra innings and the eventual loss. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. Blue Jays would have loved the moment where they could have raced onto the field, celebrated, had the clinching picture taken around the mound, and then headed up the tunnel into the clubhouse and popped the champagne. It'll be delayed gratification today for Toronto. Another pitch in the dirt. Runners coming down the line. Heineman to Parson with the tag, not in time. Caminero with a feet-first slide, able to beat the tag of Parsons. On a pitch in the dirt, a bang-bang play at the dish. The run counts for the moment as the Blue Jays turn around and go to the replay room.
And another incredible play from Tyler Heineman. You can hear the frustration in his voice, body language, sliding over and blocking that tough curveball from Parsons, making a good play. It seemed like Wes Parsons just didn't bend down enough to make that tag. At least that's what it looked like to me from up here.
Infield in. 4-0 Tampa Bay. Runner at third. And Ramirez got dotted. Hitting the ribs at 93 miles an hour. Ramirez gets plunked. Runners at first and third. And still nobody out.
And of course, this is a Blue Jays nightmare. The whole reason for Wes Parsons starting tonight is to save that bullpen down there. But if you take a look, everybody's kind of moving around and starting to think about getting loose here. Although I'm pretty sure Wes Parsons is going to wear this game.
Isaac Paredes takes a fastball outside, ball one. Yeah, there's a little bit of understanding the situation, right? It's going to be you have to pitch until your arm falls off in today's scenario. Mm-hmm. The pitch. That's low. 47 pitches, 26 strikes, 21 balls. First and third. The 2-0 to the Paredes. Down and away. That's ball three.
And you can hear the frustration with the fans. But they have to realize this is not the Blue Jays lineup that they're going to roll out in game one of that wild card series. This is essentially the Buffalo Bisons.
You got David Schneider. You got Cam Eden. 3-0. Way outside, a 4-pitch walk. Bases loaded. There's Jonathan Aranda. Made it 1-0 with his RBI single in the first. 7 men came to the plate in the first inning. There's nobody out right now. And this is the 7th man in this inning. Bo Bichette, the shortstop, jogs in, has a moment with Wes Parsons. He was making the rounds earlier today, meeting his new teammates for the first time. This wasn't a scenario where you got to know the coaches and the players during spring training. A late sign coming off a back injury after spending the last 2 seasons in Korea. Aranda takes in the dirt. That shoots off the shin guard of the home plate umpire and rolls up the third baseline, preventing a run coming in.
And again, Tyler Heineman is doing a great job. I know he didn't block that ball. The home plate umpire did. Well, that one was a little bit lucky. He got lazy. He didn't really do anything, but kind of tried to swipe at it. Blue Jays getting lucky there.
Looking for a double play ball behind Parsons. The 1-0. In the air, hit high and deep out to right field. Merrifield turns around, and that is all sorts of trouble. Aranda delivers a grand slam. Just like that, 8-0 Tampa Bay. It soars over the fence in deep right field. Aranda's got his 2nd home run of the season. Still nobody out here in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, this is just a nightmare for this Blue Jays squad. Not because they're losing, just because they'll have to figure out how to Band-Aid this game together. You can see Pete Walker and John Schneider down there talking about what they're going to do the rest of the game. If I'm John Schneider, I let Wes Parsons wear this game, but I'm not sure what he's thinking.
Fastball downstairs on Curtis Mead. The 1-0. Ground ball towards third, backing up Espinal. He spears it, spins around, throws to first in time. There's the first out. Astros have the early lead on a Bregman home run. A wild throw from Arizona put the Diamondbacks down 3-0. Jeremy Pena driving in a run, and it's 4-0 Houston. And with that advantage for the Astros early and a deep deficit for the Blue Jays, you start to look at the grid. Margot with a fly ball out to center. Underneath it is Varsho. Back-to-back outs. That's exactly what the Blue Jays wanted to see.
And that's what they'll need the rest of this game. They probably won't win this game, I'm assuming. But they just need Wes Parsons to stay in this ball game, get outs when he can, and save that pitching staff for Tuesday.
Raimel Tapia takes downstairs. That's ball one. Jordan Hicks, probably the only guy that wouldn't be available for the Blue Jays today. Jordan Romano was used, but only pitched in that 8th inning. The 2-0. Over for a called strike.
And getting an inning here or there for those guys in that bullpen isn't a bad thing. Throwing 8 or 10 pitches or 12 pitches for guys like Jordan Romano and guys who might need some work.
1-1 is low.
Probably a good thing. But you don't want them to wear 20, 25, 30 pitches when they'll be throwing probably on Tuesday.
Nobody on, 2 down. The 2-1. Swing and a miss by Tapia. His single stolen base set up the first run here in this very loud 2nd inning. 8-0 Tampa Bay. 2-2. A liner into left field, a base hit. It's a 2-hit 2nd inning for Raimel Tapia. Blue Jays had in front of them 8 different scenarios on outcomes around 2 different ball games, and then a third being theirs. Out of Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Wings, ribs, beer, cocktail, and every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more. Always devilishly good. Swinging a line drive up the middle by Rene Pinto. That's a base hit. Tapia's around second, digging for third. Here comes the throw. It's late at third base.
And again, there's that speed that you see at the Blue Jays really don't have on their roster. You have a guy like Tapia can easily go first to third on a base hit to left field. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive. You know what this is? This is Raimel Tapia using an opportunity as an open audition to make the postseason roster.
Absolutely. And he should make the postseason roster. I don't know what their roster construction is going to be, but a guy like that who can take the extra bag, I want him on my roster.
Junior Caminero gets a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Raimel Tapia's existence in the postseason might be dependent on Jose Siri and whether or not the Rays feel he's healthy enough to get activated by Tuesday. 0-1. At the knees, a called strike, and it's 0-2.
It seemed like Ramon De Jesus, the home plate umpire, was helping Parsons out just a little bit there, get this kid out of this inning.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Caminero's down on strikes, and the inning comes to a close. 12 men come to the plate. It's opened up large with a 7-run rally by Tampa Bay. Jonathan Aranda with the big swing. The grand slam, making it 8-0 midway through 2. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
And there's nothing more foul than rising interest rates. So when I'm not calling the ball game, I'm calling Pizza Pizza for a hot and fresh fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $16.99 until the end of 2023. So when inflation throws you a curveball, at least your pizza price.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Blue Jays in the early hole, but hey, it's 162. Anything can happen today. Jacob Lopez deals to Davis Schneider. And the first pitch in there for a called strike one. Long first and second inning at bats for Tampa Bay. Blue Jays win 1-2-3 in the first. Schneider batting cleanup today. Lefty's pitch cut on and missed, and it's 0-2. How about the ovation Davis Schneider and Cameron Eden got yesterday when they came to the plate? Late season call-ups for the Blue Jays. The 0-2, up and out, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cam Eden was asked about it after the ball game, said he was really moved by it, had no idea how to react when the crowd rose and gave him a standing ovation. 1-2, out of play up the right side. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes on Davis Schneider, who got his own standing O. But that's not the first standing ovation he got. Boy, was he ever greeted by the hometown crowd when he came off that first road trip as a Blue Jay. Made that massive splash in Boston, homering in his first at bat. Had a great series against the Red Sox. A 1-2. A little bit high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Davis Schneider is 0 for his last 30-something. What's the exact number? You'd know.
0 for 31.
0 for 31, but that crowd still remembers what he did the first month that he was up with his team. It was a really, really cool storyline.
Fastball up and away from Lopez, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. A major league record for the first 25 games in the major leagues. Nobody has ever posted a better OPS than what Davis Schneider did in his first month in the majors. 3-2, way outside, a leadoff walk.
Too much. You hear me?
Now batting, number 8, Kevin Biggio.
That is our future announcer, presented by Rogers, joining us from Smithville, Ontario. Young Jacob is 8 years old. And Kevin Biggio, number 8, takes down and in, lefty on lefty. Runner at first. The 1-0. Curveball, and that hit Biggio. Walking a plunk.
And like you said, game 162.
Yeah, 8-0 doesn't mean anything today.
Batting, number 5, Santiago Espinal.
Nice picture of Jacob on the big video board as he was delivering Santiago Espinal. He kind of had that look of, oh, that's me up there. Here's the pitch to Espy. On the outside corner, called strike. Well, we're watching the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out of Town scoreboard, and we mentioned going into today that there are 8 different scenarios for the Blue Jays. Espinal slams it out of play to the right. No balls and 2 strikes. The Arizona Diamondbacks look like they really enjoyed clinching a postseason berth last night. They're trailing large early. If the Houston and the Ray leads hold on, and then there's a clearer path for the Blue Jays into the postseason. Swing and miss by Espinal, and he's down on strikes. So ultimately, you take away half the scenarios, it boils down to 2. Houston, Rays win,
It's Minnesota. That's the stop for the Blue Jays, regardless of what happens today for the Mariners and the Rangers. That removes a total game out of the scenario.
Jays lose, Astros win, Rangers lose.
Yes.
Who wins the West?
Hold on. Let me get I need to get my abacus. Runners at first and second. The 1-0. Hard ground ball towards first. Don't you have the same cheat sheet I do?
I'm only up here to judge baseball skill, not do math.
Oh, we got this pretty graphic right in front of us. Kyle Tucker's just got a sacrifice fly in the second inning. 5-0 Houston. The good news, going to the Twin Cities, the weather looks splendid. Very similar to what we're having here in the GTA. 1-1. Breaking ball on a line out to center from the bat of Barshow. Making the play is Margot. Runners retreat back to first and second with one down. Here's Tyler Heineman.
I have to say thank you to Ben Schulman. He just tapped me on the shoulder and gave me a little piece of information.
Go on.
Houston wins the West.
Houston wins the West. There
That's
you go.
the answer to my question.
Right. Heineman lines a ball to right field. Whoa! That got by low. Schneider will score. Here comes Biggio. Heineman is digging for third. The Blue Jays have tallied a pair after Lowe played himself into the in-between and then placed himself in his own pickle.
Number 31, Cam Eden.
Cam Eden's coming to the plate, making his first start in the major leagues today. Rudder at third, 2 out. The pitch. Dropped in for a called strike. Eden got his first plate appearance on Friday night against the Tampa Bay Rays and had a blooper that was mere inches from becoming his first hit in the big leagues. The 0-1. Watch out, that's thrown to the backstop. Coming down the line is Heineman. He will score. And just like that, it's 8-3 Tampa Bay. Blue Jays have whittled away, taking advantage of a walk, a hit by pitch, a misplayed ball in right field. And all of a sudden, there's a 3 spot.
And Cam Eden has his first major league RBI. That's a weird one.
The 1-1. And there's a liner off the glove of Aranda into right field. The first hit in the big leagues for Cameron Eden. Stung to right field. Now listen to the ovation. He's loving it. A standing ovation from Cam Eden. They put his face on the big video board and he flashed a smile. And it got even louder in here. Two-out base runner for the Blue Jays.
Come back and win this game.
That's the hope. Everybody wants a happy flight, or happier flight. Lopez to Merrifield, swing and a miss, strike one. Went down, bouncing the first pitch of the ball game to the shortstop. 3 runs are in for the Blue Jays here in the second. A sellout crowd to send the Blue Jays into the postseason. Most of the ballpark soaking in the Rays off to our right. The sunshine, not the Tampa Bay Rays, the sunshine. 0-1.
Over for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Witt takes down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Merrifield, who, like many other Blue Jays, really embracing the opportunity to reach the postseason again. All those successful seasons in Kansas City for Witt, not part of the party for the Royals. Their teardown was underway when Witt got to the big leagues. Runner goes from first. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Merrifield's down, taking away a stolen base opportunity from Cam Eden as the inning comes to a close. Blue Jays plate 3. It's 8-3 Tampa Bay as we go to the third. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming through the new Sportsnet app and on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Join Bet365 now and discover the power of the world's favorite sportsbook. Watch thousands of live games. Build your own bet. You can even bet on games while they're still being played. Seriously. And if
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Top of the third inning, 8-3 Tampa Bay. Wes Parsons deals. Right-hander's first pitch, a called strike on the outside edge. And it's 0-1 on Josh Lowe. This has been a rather wild start to our afternoon today. The 0-1. And for a called strike, and it's 0-2. It was not an easy second inning for the right-hander, making his Blue Jays debut today. The 0-2 pitch. Down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. While the Blue Jays were dealing with walks and hit by pitches and rallying for 3 in the bottom of the second inning, what's the message coming from Pete Walker? I doubt he's going to let Wes Parsons just sit on the bench alone with his thoughts. Pitch fouled away at the plate. Stays 1-2.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you're pitching to contact for the most part. They aren't hitting you very hard. Things will start to fall your way. You're just having a little bit of bad luck right now. That's what I would be telling him if I was Pete Walker.
Pitch outside, 2-2.
But I would also be honest and say, hey, you're in this game for the long haul, buddy. You're going to throw 100 pitches. We brought you up here to save that bullpen. Good luck, right?
2-2. Over for strike 3. Welcome back to the big leagues. The first strikeout in the major leagues for Wes Parsons since 2019.
And he's got the stuff to do that. I think if he just starts throwing better strikes, keeps that curveball down in the zone, he'll be able to throw 5, hopefully 6 innings.
Harold Ramirez steps in, swings and misses, strike 1.
And another thing we didn't get to mention was when Whit Merrifield struck out last inning, Cam Eden swiped that bag very easily. And that was proof right there that he can do that.
0-1's low on Ramirez. 1 ball and 1 strike. One. Inside corner, 1-2. One-two. Check swing. Did he go? Called by the home plate umpire for going around. Back-to-back strikeouts for Parsons. This third inning is being brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. While the Blue Jays move into the postseason, make sure you're moving to get your ride ready for cold weather. by using Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today at crown.com or visit the location nearest you. Isaac Paredes vaults the first pitch he sees high in the air, right side of the diamond. Out of the high sky, Schneider is there. He makes the catch. And the Rays are retired 1-2-3 in the top of the third. 8-3 Tampa Bay. Blue Jays back at the plate right after this with Blue Jays baseball. Brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When making a real estate purchase, partner with an agent who is a realtor. We're experts in what we do, with access to exclusive tools and proprietary market data. We're Realtors, members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
You've always had a plan for your family, at work, and in retirement. Have you thought about your end-of-life plans? What are your options? Catholic Cemeteries offers a free planning guide that can help. Catholic Cemeteries pre-planning advisors will work with you to make the best decision for you and your family. They'll even come to your home if you prefer. Get peace of mind. Schedule a consultation today. 708-236-5490. That's 708-236-5490. Or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org.
One of the hardest parts of running a business is keeping it safe. Threat actors can cripple your business. We see breaches happening with major casinos, when in fact they're more likely to occur for small businesses. Your network needs to be protected, and you need someone you can trust. For 30 years, Access One has been delivering the best technology, implementing state-of-the-art strategies in cybersecurity, managed IT, cloud services, physical security, and more. We are your first and last line of defense to keep your business and client data safe. Visit access1it.com to learn more.
Thanks for joining us for the regular season finale here at Rogers Center. We've got more baseball coming for you, coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Blue Jays are in the postseason. 162 has the Rays leading 8-3. Brandon Belt swings and pulls the first pitch. Foul for strike one. With Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Wagner. Show Ali and Ben Schulman are alongside. Later on today, Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker on Blue Jays Talk after the ballgame. 0-1. High and tight, watch out. Lopez nearly hit Brandon Bell with a changeup. No intent there. That was just slipping out of the hands. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ben, I know we're doing a lot of scoreboard watching, but there's a huge game going on in Chicago right now between the Padres and the White Sox. It's 0-0.
The pitch down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You didn't like that joke?
Big because
it was a joke.
You know somebody playing in that game? Is that why?
It was just a joke.
There are a couple of games that don't have impact in the standings that are happening today, but they are farewells to a lot of Titans in the game. Miguel Cabrera is going to play his final game of the regular season. Terry Francona will manage his final game with the Cleveland Guardians. Adam Wainwright will have his final tour with the St. Louis Cardinals today. The 2-2 off the fist, a little humpback liner beyond third. That's a fair ball. It drops in and then it's tracked down by the third baseman as Belt continues to rumble into second, and then the ball was lost by Caminero, but then recovered just in the nick of time to pick that ball up and tag Belt. I know who would play in this game was a little bit of an option, but I didn't know that these teams would be playing audibles on defense today. So Bell trying to leg out a double is called out, and the Blue Jays will not ask for a review. Ooh. Now Bo Bichette takes up and away, ball 1. Bo with his 3rd straight season hitting 20 or more home runs. 1-0. In the air, shallow center. Margot reads it, sun glaring off his sunglasses, makes the play, and there are 2 out. And that'll bring up Davis Schneider. He'll get a nice ovation. We listen to the roar from our Timbermart broadcast booth. Home plate is home plan. Score a run with Timbermart.ca. Find a major league selection of winning plays for the house, garage, and backyard sheds. Lopez misses outside. Visit Timbermart.ca and win the game with Canada's Building Center. (1-0). Hit up the left field line, hooking into the corner. That's a fair ball. 2 bounces into the corner where Davis Schneider can stroll into second standing with a 2-out double.
That must feel good for him. He's now 1 for his last 33. I would have hated to go into the offseason being 0 for my last 34 or 35. That'll help him sleep a little bit better tonight.
Yeah, finally get that monkey off the back. Two-out base runner in scoring position for Toronto. Cavan Biggio comes up. Rays leading 8-3 over the Blue Jays. The pitch. Fastball's in tight. That's ball 1. (1-0) on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
They just showed a replay on television of Davis Schneider strolling into second base, and you could just see the monkey was off his back. It was almost like a finally type of breath when he was standing at second base.
1-1, a chip shot into foul territory. Underneath it, Paredes retires Biggio in the Blue Jays. Couple of hits, but no runs. Going to the 4th. It's 8-3 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
It's famous for being a melting pot of cultures. Its oldest neighborhood is the French Quarter. And it's known as the birthplace of jazz. The answer is New Orleans, the destination you should absolutely book right now. With year-round nonstop flights to New Orleans Airport, you can experience the city for yourself anytime.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet free tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Time for the 4th inning, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and check out the latest odds for today's baseball games. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Jonathan Aranda blew it open with a grand slam. Now he leads off the 4th inning, and he lines one to left field. Eden breaks back to his left. He's there, makes the catch, and there's 1 out.
And this is exactly what Pete Walker probably talked to Wes Parsons about an inning and a half ago. Get quick outs. Save that bullpen, and he's done just that. He's gotten 4 quick outs.
His first 1-2-3 this afternoon in the 3rd. Had a couple of strikeouts to go along. Here's Curtis Mead. Fastball over for a called strike one. With Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Wagner. We're inside the Timber Mart broadcast booth this afternoon. The 0-1. That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves here. The Blue Jays know their wild card is a best of 3. It will happen on the road. There's no change in venue. The 1-1. Lined out a play over to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blue Jays then, if they were to advance, whoever their opponent is, the Rays, the Twins, whoever the opponent is, if they are to advance the best of 3 out of the wild card, the American League Division Series would also start on the road for Toronto. Meade loops one on the right side. Biggio over at first. Calls away Schneider and makes the play. And there are 2 down. Got to the ballpark today, saw a whole lot of luggage. The Blue Jays coaches, support staff, the players, of course, and their family members have all packed for a week-long road trip. Manuel Margot. Fastball in the inside corner, strike one.
I saw that luggage, and I said to myself, that's a lot of luggage for the Blue Jays, and then I was told that the family is going with them, and it made a lot more sense.
The 0-1 over the knees, and it's 0-2 on Margot. A perk of the postseason, the family gets to live it with the Blue Jays, coaches, support staff, and the players. They're going along for the ride. The 0-2 fouled away. Such an integral part of the success, both personally, mentally, physically, over the rigors of a long season. And most of their support network working behind the scenes, they've been with them since early February. 0-2 inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a really nice gesture by the Blue Jays as an organization to say, you know what? Your loved ones are coming along with you, so tell them to pack a bag. 1-2. Fouled away at the plate.
Yeah, I think people forget that baseball is not only hard physically, but it is a grind. The schedule is a grind, not only for players, but for broadcasters too. Traveling every day, not being at home with your family. So to have a good support system, that's a very good gift that the Blue Jays gave the family.
Margot hits it high and deep out to left. Eden back, feeling for the wall, turns around, and it's gone. Into the bullpen of the Blue Jays, Manuel Margot with his 4th home run of the season. That snaps the string of consecutive batters retired by Parsons, and it gets the Rays on top 9-3. Brings in Raimel Tapia. He's already 2 for 2 today, both the hits in the 2nd inning. Single to right, single to left. Takes up and out, ball 1. High strike called, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. I was talking with a couple of guys in the clubhouse today about the opportunity to go back to St. Petersburg, where, give or take, half of the organization lives in the offseason. The 1-1 bounced in, 2 balls and 1 strike. And to be in the comforts of home, not only to have your friends and your family nearby, but also a chance to sleep in a bed you're very familiar with for about 7 months out of the year. That's a welcome opportunity. The 2-1. Ground ball out to the second baseman. Schneider waiting on the third hop. Quick exchange. Tapia's retired, and the side comes to an end. 9-3 Tampa Bay after the run. A couple of players also said, yeah, with that many of my support staff and support network around me, I'll have to play for free that day. Buying all the postseason tickets. Middle of the 4th inning, 9-3 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
With rising prices and reduced inventory, you're not the only one. Crown is here to help. Our annual rust protection program will keep your vehicle looking great and lasting longer. And it doesn't cost much more than a tank of gas these days. So come on over to your local Crown Center today and protect your vehicle, your investment from rust. Crown.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Pitch inside on Espinal, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0. That's lined right at the shortstop. Caminero gloves it. That ball was smoked. 1 up and 1 down. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the Jays Care Foundation is about ready to make a massive impact on a number of initiatives off of one single jackpot. I'm looking over at the winner takes home board, and this is just the winning portion, and it's over $5.3 million. Dalton Varsho takes a breaking ball called strike. Now that also means over $5.3 million have been raised through this Super September jackpot alone to support the Jays Care Foundation. The 0-1 inside, 1 ball and 1 strike on Varsho. So not only is this an incredible jackpot that is already a record-setting jackpot induced by Blue Jay fans in their activity, but it's also a record jackpot for Major League Baseball. Ground ball in the middle of the diamond, hops off the hill. Caminero slings it over to first base. Wow, did he ever let that one fly? And there are 2 down.
And that jackpot was year-long. It was 6 months of baseball?
No, this is like 3 weeks.
That's only 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Holy cow, I thought that was the whole season.
Yeah. No. Super September jackpot. It is the largest jackpot in Major League Baseball history. Somebody is going to pocket $5.3 million and then name a building at their alma mater. Tyler Heineman takes outside, ball 1. 9-3 Rays, 2 down, nobody on. Pitch over the knees, a called strike, and it's 1-1. Heineman batting for the second time today after grabbing his first career triple. Now he's back in the second. 1-1. Inside corner called strike, and it's 1-2.
And as a pitcher, I don't really like that scoring on that. That needs to be a single and an error. Come on.
One, 2. Fouled away at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That reminds me of old story back in the minor leagues where video really started to be a point of emphasis, and guys would break down, certain at bats and matchups and what have you. And you could catalog it, right? 1-2. Flipped out a play over to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you could break it down like, all right, this pitcher versus this batter or this outcome, right? So it'd be Chris LaRue and singles. Where do all the singles Chris LaRue give up? Well, somebody put one of those breakdowns in favor of a pitcher, and it was all home runs.
Oh, my goodness.
Here's a liner into right field. That's just foul, about by a foot off the bat of Heineman. So there was a really bad game. So, I mean, this was teammates having fun at the expense of a teammate. The pitcher will stay unnamed, but the home runs start happening, and it was a game in St. Louis, and it was a pretty good St. Louis Cardinals club. And it was home run after home run after home run. Well, that pitcher stood up in the middle of the bus, and he said, I'll have you know, I will have you know, all those runs are unearned.
It's like they never even happened.
Never mind the 6 miles worth of distance in home runs that he allowed.
No better gift than an unearned run.
Check swing by Heineman. They appealed at first. Didn't go around. The 2-2. Check swing. He fouled it off at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Heineman. I remember it vividly.
Oh, I've had so games funny. Like that.
The 2-2. Lined out a play to the right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, that's a tape you can wish you could burn, right? I mean, the 2-2. That's low. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Heineman. You know what? You win that Chase Care 50-50 jackpot, Chris, you'll never have to think about baseball again.
What do you mean? I love baseball.
3-2. Down and in. You could watch it. You could love it in a different way. With 5.3 in the pocket. Tonight's the night. The biggest jackpot in Major League Baseball history is closing in on the biggest jackpot in professional sports history. The Jays Care record-breaking jackpot now at 5.335. 5,335,000 and climbing quickly. Imagine the possibilities, changing your life by grabbing one winning ticket. Support Jays Care by going to bluejays.com/5050 anywhere in Ontario today. bluejays.com/5050. Cam Eden takes downstairs, ball 1. Eden got his first hit in the big leagues his last time at the plate. 1-0, hit high in the air, out to left center field. Does he have another first? No, he doesn't. Margot runs it down deep in left center field into the warning track. Cameron Eden, he charged it, but the ballpark held it, and the side is retired. A runner left in a scoreless 4th, off to the 5th. 9-3 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
Nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
There's another home run worth cheering about. It's the tireless work your hometown charities perform every day to make life better in your community.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
When you want to bet on sports, played on a field or ice or course,
Bet
This is the place.
Over under money line, same game parlays, it's all fine.
We'll put a smile on your face.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook is your home for chance, where you can bet on the sports you love. Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Download the app.
Take a chance.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Blue Jays baseball is being brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Great crew working behind the scenes here on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Armin Zargarian and Drew Adams are back at Baseball Control at our Sportnet Network studios. Tom Young tickling the ivory right behind us. Show Ali's up here on the front row, along with Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Wagner. Go to the fifth inning where the Rays lead it 9-3. Blue Jays dip into the bullpen. And Tim Mays is aboard, courtesy of Certainty, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Certainty Pro all the way. Rene Pinto faces the lefty. Takes outside, ball one. Wes Parsons didn't get as deep into this ball game as the Blue Jays or he were hoping to get. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jonathan Aranda really blew it open with a grand slam in a 7-run second inning. 1-1. Fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He threw about as many pitches as the Blue Jays probably would have wanted him to. He was at 89 when he was taken out of this game. Obviously, they would have liked him to go 5 or 6 innings, but that didn't happen.
1-2. That skips in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I wondered, and John Schneider really didn't address the overall decision not to use an opener or give the guys that wanted some sharpening work their first tests early. Swing and a miss by Pinto. Mays has got a strikeout to start his afternoon. And I think a lot of it was also circling around just making sure Wes Parsons was comfortable in what the Blue Jays were going to ask him to do. He'd been hiding in the hotel for over a day, so this wasn't like an emergency rush in here this morning. Junior Caminero takes in the dirt, ball 1. But just to keep it more routine for Wes Parsons, knowing that there would be opportunity eventually for guys that wanted a frame. 1-0. Caminero charges one out to deep right field, going the opposite way and into the bullpen for the Rays. Caminero with his first home run in the major leagues is an opposite field home run. He had 31 home runs between his stops in the minor leagues this year. The bat was never in question, and it translates to his first round tripper in the majors here in the 5th.
And we've seen a lot of good things from him this weekend, but I think that right there proves his power. Taking that pitch the opposite way into that bullpen in right field. I've said this a couple times, but he's got a big future ahead of him.
There's 22. Here's Josh Lowe. Fastball in the inside corner, strike 1.
Also something I've never seen before. His helmet came off when he swung the bat, and he ran around the bases with no helmet on. I was trying to figure out what he did with his helmet at first.
Pitch at the knees on Lowe, a called strike, and it's 0-2. 10-3 Tampa Bay. The pitch. Down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'll tell you what, that's a moment that will forever be frozen in time for Caminero. The 1-2. That's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes, lefty on lefty. And it's a picture-perfect moment for Caminero. No helmet. Hair just kind of flowing as he circles the bases. 2-2. Strike 3 called. Mesa gets another punch out. Harold Ramirez, the hitter.
That really is picture perfect,
isn't it?
We're seeing the replay right now. His long hair is kind of just flowing in the wind as he's rounding the bases with that big smile. Great moment for him.
Harold Ramirez takes low, ball 1. Ground ball out to the shortstop, flagged on a bounce by Bichette. Throws to first in time. Ramirez retired. Solo home run by Caminero. It's 10-3 Tampa Bay. We're in the middle of the fifth. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
If you have, then you should have gone to Specsavers and gotten free progressive lenses with glasses from $149. They combine near and far vision in one pair, so you'll see more clearly at any distance. Book an eye exam today at specsavers.ca. That's expert eye care for all. Includes 1.5 standard progressive lenses, subject.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet free tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series trucks to help save the day, stretch the weekend, haul or tow just about anything, anywhere. That's because they're built Ford tough. And it's why Ford F-Series are America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. And for that, we thank you. Because this isn't just about our capability, it's about yours. Shop F-Series at your local Ford dealer. Claim based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
Things like player props, totals, or game outcomes across many different sports. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. While the Astros and this ball game in front of us could dictate where the Blue Jays go, there is a certain impact on the standings at a first round bye up for grabs. Brandon Belt takes down and away. Right now, the Seattle Mariners have a 1-0 lead over the Texas Rangers. They play in the 6th inning. 1-0. Belt hits it in the air out to center. Margot, frozen in his tracks, now steps forward once. Makes the play, and there are 2 down. If the Astros win and the Rangers lose, the first round bye and the division goes to the Houston Astros. And that could be an impact on the travel for the next round of the American League wildcard matchup, which is projecting to be the Blue Jays and the Twins. So the winner of the best of 3 out of Minneapolis, Twins or Blue Jays, their stop would be against the Astros. Here's Bo, swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Bichette.
I like this version of the playoffs better for the Blue Jays. The matchups seem less scary.
0-1, fouled away. No balls and 2 strikes.
I personally don't want any part of Tampa. I don't want any part of Baltimore. The longer we can stay away from them, the better. In my opinion, I could be completely wrong, but that's just what I've seen over the last little while.
Blue Jays and Rays have had some really tight ball games, great contested series. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Bichette's down on strikes, and the Blue Jays turned away. 1-2-3 in the 5th. Off to the 6th, 10-3 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
That's the sound of an insurance company sleeping soundly. They're resting peacefully because somebody got hurt on the job and didn't call Horwitz and Associates. That other lawyer wants to settle the case fast and easy. This is exactly what the insurance company wants.
We'll take the settlement.
But when you hire Horwitz and Associates, the insurance company's in for a rude awakening. So if you're injured, call the lawyers that keep the insurance companies up at night.
Hi, I'm Cliff Horowitz. Visit me at horowitzlaw.com.
Hey guys, have you heard of Collars & Co? Mark Cuban just invested $1 million in this company on Shark Tank. They make the original dress collar polo. It's a super soft 4-way stretch polo, but the top has a firm dress collar on it. So it gives you that dress shirt look, but with an extremely comfortable polo feel. They look sharp by themselves and killer with a sweater or blazer. They also have amazing long sleeve dress shirts, stretch chinos, and luxe quarter zips. Whether you're back to the office or looking to elevate your weekend looks, you've got to check them out. CollarsandCo.com. Use code TIKI for 15% off your first order.
Find the latest in laundry innovation when you shop at Lowe's. Right now, get an extra $100 off select laundry pairs, like the new Electrolux laundry pair in Glacier Blue. It evenly distributes detergent for a thorough clean in every load and has the world's first adaptive dispenser with a spot just for laundry pods. Visit Lowe's to update your laundry appliances today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Time for the 6th inning, being brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Insurance with a heart so big it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today. With Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Wagner. Tampa Bay Rays with a 10-3 lead here in the season finale. Both of these teams are postseason bound. Playing out the string this afternoon, and guys getting some work in our next pitching change brought to you by Certainteed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Certainteed, pro all the way. It's Trevor Richards, 56th appearance for the veteran right-hander. He'll face Isaac Paredes, Jonathan Aranda, and then Curtis Mead. Former Ray right-hander deals. And the pitch is fouled away by Paredes at the plate for strike one. Down at the clubhouse earlier today, in the media circle, kind of projecting what the Blue Jays might do in the postseason. 0-1. Change up outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Seemed to be some real discussion about whether or not Trevor Richards would have usage, and depending on where the Blue Jays go. 1-1. Over for a called strike 1 and 2. I got the sense, just kind of pitching in my 2 cents, that Richards might not be as valuable for the Blue Jays against the Rays as what he would be against the Minnesota Twins. Change up low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think when you're looking at a postseason roster, you have to look at what people have done recently. You can't look at the whole body of work. When you look at his whole season.
There's a line drive over third. That's a base hit for Paredes.
When you look at his whole season, it's not bad. It's a pretty good season. But when you look over the last month and a half, let's say 15 games, he's given up 19 hits in 17 innings, 21 earned runs. Do I want a guy like that if I'm John Schneider on my roster? Can I use him in big situations? Probably not. And if I'm trying to win a World Series with this, which the Blue Jays could potentially do, Trevor Richards to me doesn't really fit into that equation.
Jonathan Aranda, lefty on lefty, swings and misses, strike 1.
And it's not so much the numbers, because the numbers can lie, but it's looking at his stuff. His changeup is not doing what it was doing early on in the season when he was lights out.
The 0-1 that bounces in. Splits are remarkable, and there was some time on the injured list. Basically 30 appearances with a ERA at 3. The last 25 appearances, an earned run average over 8. 1-1. Fastball in the outside half.
And that's a big sample size. It's not just a few games here where he's given up 8 runs. That's a big sample size. You have to really think about that.
I wonder if the largest victim out of the 4-man rotation in the month of June was the workload around Trevor Richards.
Definitely. I think that's a huge reason why his stuff isn't what it was early on, but that's also a factor. If a guy's tired and he's not going to pitch well, then you can't use him.
1-2. Aranda with a little cue shot foul, first base side.
And I hate saying that because I do like Trevor Richards as a pitcher. His stuff plays. His stuff is good. He is a good pitcher. It's just a matter of him probably being tired, him being overworked. And that changeup is just floating in there. It's like he's underhanding it, and the guys that are hitting are just saying, thank you.
1-2, out of play to the left. I don't think Hyunjin Ryu makes the playoff roster. Yusei Kikuchi slots from the rotation, moves in as a long man. Bowden Francis might be an outsider trying to creep his way in with what his repertoire could give, especially opportunity to soak some innings. 1-2. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I like Bowden Francis. I like Yusei Kikuchi. Both of those guys I would try to put on my roster.
And Yusei Kikuchi, who had to transition from being a starter into a bullpen role, really did a very good job for the Blue Jays last year, making that shift. This ball's hooked into the corner in right field. It'll one hop into the wall off the bat of Aranda. Jogging in from second and scoring will be Paredes.
And again, right on cue, there's a changeup that was left right over the middle of the plate, and Aranda, he wasn't fooled, right? Like early on in the season when that changeup was tumbling, when it was like a split finger, violent action down in the zone, hitters were fooled. But now it's just a floater, and that's what happens. That's what's been happening a lot.
A 3-for-4 day for Jonathan Aranda, driving in 6. 11-3 Tampa Bay. Richards deals, pitch is fouled away, strike 1. I think there's a corner that has to be addressed too in the argument that the Blue Jays have stuck with Trevor Richards all season long. You know, they have leaned on him, they've asked him to do a number of things. Is there something to be said going into the postseason and going to war with the guys that you've believed in the entire way? Liner up the middle, Meade retired on the screaming liner, that Dalton Varsho in center.
When you look at his overall body of work, it's almost shocking to think that Trevor Richards has almost a 5 ERA because he was so lights out for so long. That just shows how bad he's been over the last month and a half or so. Because up until mid-August, he was the guy in that bullpen, him and Eric Swanson.
Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Swing and a miss by Margot. 0-2. Ground ball, middle of the diamond, shuffling to his right. Schneider fields with 2 hands. Strong throw to first, 2 away. Aranda will take third base on the grounder in the middle. Peek at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Games that matter around the Blue Jays. Dominic Canzone with a ground out that scored Eugenio Suarez for the lone run for the Mariners, leading the Texas Rangers. Last check, it was 6-zip Houston in Arizona. Here's Raimel Tapia. Pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Once again, a Blue Jays loss and an Astros win takes away the equation of what the Mariners/Ranger outcome decides in the Blue Jays postseason destination. One-0. Swing and a miss by Tapia. Ball and a strike.
Are you a little bit disappointed, selfishly, that the Blue Jays aren't going to Tampa because you do live in that general area?
1-1. Ground ball right back to Richards. He'll bail me out. Thanks. Feed over to first base. Side's retired. I'm in for the long haul. I want to stay here all October, baby. Rays have extended their lead. It's now 11-3 over the Blue Jays. midway through the 6th. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
So next time, add a 6-piece of crispy chicken nuggets to your Wendy's order for just $3.49. You won't regret it. Taxes extra. Price and participation may vary.
Get a leg up with this week's Food Basics deal on fresh New Zealand bone-in lamb leg. Just $4.44 per pound until October 4th. Plus, get more great deals in the digital flyer at Food Basics.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
We'll do some housekeeping with the Rays making some defensive changes as the Blue Jays come to the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tampa Bay up large, 11-3. Davis Schneider will lead off this 6th inning for Toronto. He's walked and doubled. Lefty Lopez deals, and he plugs the gap in right center field. That ball's carrying pretty well and short hops the wall. Schneider will have his second extra base hit here this afternoon. And he is swing by swing trying to leave that 0 for 31 in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, another good swing from Davis Schneider. He's just a streaky guy. He's been streaky since he's been up here. That 0 for 31 didn't help, but sometimes for a week he's great, and then for 2 weeks he's just not. And that's, I don't know what he was like in the minor leagues, but streaky hitters, you just got to ride the wave.
He was crushing it in the minor leagues. He was consistent. Here's Cavan. Inside. That's ball one. (1-0). Athanasia called strike. Ball and a strike on Biggio. Blue Jays will not have the services of Danny Jansen in the postseason. Fastball inside from Lopez, and it's 1-2. Injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prayer Personal Injury Lawyers. If your insurance company has a heavy hitter at the plate, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prayer Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, Bergmanis Prayer will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. 2-1. Fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another reason that the Blue Jays, watching that Mariner victory over the Rangers last night, is the fact, well, Texas win over the Mariners, is the fact that, yes, you don't need Kevin Gausman to make the start here in 162 to get in. You can also rest Alejandro Kirk. Swinging a foul back by Biggio. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alejandro Kirk has played in, until today, all 26 games this September that the Blue Jays have been in. (2-2). Ripped up the right field line. That's a fair ball. Cut off before the corner by Lowe. Schneider can easily come in from second. He scores on an RBI base hit from Cavan Biggio. Now 11-4 Tampa Bay. Biggio driving in his 40th.
What do you think Biggio's role will be in the playoffs?
The role that he's had this entire 2 months. I think it's going to be, what's the best lineup? How is it configured? Is it good to have Biggio at second base over Whit Merrifield in a lot of opportunities? And You know, I mean, this was a lefty-on-lefty base hit here for Cavan Biggio, too. So he has made adjustments not only when right-handed starters are facing the Blue Jays, but he's held his own against left-handed pitching here down the stretch, too.
Yeah, he's been great, and I'm glad that the Blue Jays are finally starting to realize that he is that guy that needs to be in the lineup every single day. And obviously, he's proven himself as a serviceable big leaguer, if not a good big leaguer, and the Blue Jays are probably starting to realize that.
And you know what? He's proven it to himself.
Yeah.
Santiago Espinal steps in. Comebacker that clears the hill. Picked up and booted at second. Caminero had just slid over to his new spot at second base. And he did not handle an easy, routine grounder.
Well, I think the problem there, Caminero was trying to make the play before he had the ball. He was moving his feet to try to hit second base before Cavan Biggio got there. And instead of fielding the ball and then making the play, he tried to make the play before he actually fielded that ball.
Brings up Dalton Varsho, who takes low, ball one. First and second for Toronto. Nobody out. Varsho fouls it away and evens the count at 1-1. Junior Caminero and Curtis Mead, by the way, they just seesawed. Just flip-flopping positions in the middle of the diamond. Kevin Cash was telling us on Friday that this series, with everything sewn up from a Ray perspective, was about just getting a better feel for guys, getting them comfortable in positions where they might have an ask in the postseason. Strike to Varsho, and it's 1-2. The pitch. That's ripped into right field, down for a base hit. Coming around third, Biggio hits the bag. He's coming in to score. Espinal goes to third. The Blue Jays have a lot of traffic. They played it 2 runs here in the 6th inning. And now it's 11-5 Tampa Bay.
2 extremely important guys that the Blue Jays will need to be successful are Dalton Varsho and Cavan Biggio. Those guys need to be hot for this team to be successful. Role players are necessary for World Series championship teams.
Varsho stung the ball a couple of times today. He's at first. Espinal stands at third. Tyler Heineman takes low, ball one. Pulled towards third. Paredes reaches out. He's got it in foul territory. Long throw to first, not in time. Espinal is in to score. Heineman has really been stretching his legs today. He was churning and burning for every step up the first baseline. And then the turf monster got him as he went through the bag. Espinal is in. It's a 3-run 6th. Varsho and Heineman are aboard. (11-6) Tampa Bay. Cam Eden steps in. Gets a first pitch fastball strike. First and second, nobody out. The pitch. Eden takes down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike now on the Blue Jay left fielder. Picked up his first RBI, got his first major league hit back in the 2nd inning. Nearly took it out of the ballpark with a deep drive to center back in the 4th. 1-1. That's high. A sellout crowd this afternoon trying to stay in it. Rally the Blue Jays back into this game. Eden fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Blue Jays know that to return to Rogers Center, they have to play on the road for the next week. They would love to hear these chambers echo all through October. 2-2 pulled foul.
Another cool thing about playing in Minnesota is you get all those fans from up north, close to Minnesota. I don't think anybody's really said anything about that. It's almost like a pseudo home game.
I loved going to Minneapolis. I mean, that was a sneaky spot for Blue Jay fans. 2-2, muscled over foul. Longtime rival with the Detroit Tigers, right on the border, of course. Easy to make the trip from most places in Ontario if you wanted to see a game in Detroit. Of course, all the fanfare that's built in the last decade around Seattle. Eden hits it out of play up the right side again.
Minnesota's got to be
but Minnesota,
in third place. Right?
I have talked to people that have driven 16 hours through Manitoba and parts unknown to see the Blue Jays play.
Well, that's a little bit too much for me, but a few hours here, a few hours there, maybe.
Well, that's why we call him first. That's why we call him First Class Chris. Everybody. 2-2, swing and a miss. Eden's down, one away.
Just so everybody knows, that's the first time I've ever been called that in my entire life.
Kevin Cash is jogging out to the mound. He's going to make a pitching change with the Blue Jays, bringing up Whit Merrifield here in this sixth inning. It's the Rays 11 and the Blue Jays 6. This pitching change brought to you by Certainteed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Certainteed, pro all the way. Runners aboard at first and second for Whit Merrifield after we visit with Shoali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We are paying attention to 2 games today in Major League Baseball, 2 games only. Astros at Diamondbacks. Houston still up 6-0. Alex Bregman with a 2-run bomb. Kyle Tucker has a pair of runs as well, including an RBI triple. Astros looking for that AL West title. They also need a Rangers loss to grab the division title. Rangers at Mariners. Seattle already eliminated. This game is for seeding purposes only for Texas, but the Mariners are up right now 1-0. And as Ben has mentioned a couple of times today, if these results hold for Toronto and Houston, the result of the Mariners-Rangers game does not matter for the Jays. Jays lose, Astros win, and the Jays will be on their way to Minneapolis. If you missed this as well, Buck Showalter saying today that he will not return as manager of the New York Mets. Steve Cohen, the owner of the team, saying that the team will begin their search for a new manager. Week 4 NFL action on the go right now as well. Lots of finals after the early slate of games. Bills at Dolphins. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They crushed Miami 48-20. Stephon Diggs with over 100 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen with a rushing TD as well, though Bills defensive back Trey White did go down following a non-contact injury. It's being called an Achilles injury. Commanders at Eagles. Sam Howell drove the Commanders down the field and threw a TD to Jahan Dotson to tie the game at 31 with no time left on the clock. But in overtime, Eagles get a field goal to win it, 34-31, the final in favor of Philly, who remain unbeaten. Rams at Colts. LA wins in overtime, a 29-23 win for the Rams after Matthew Stafford found Puka Nacua for a walk-off touchdown grab. Anthony Richardson, meanwhile, with a rushing TD for the Colts. Kyron Williams also had a pair of rushing TDs for the Rams. Ravens at Browns. Baltimore wins 28-3. Lamar Jackson taking it himself for a pair of rushing TDs. Mark Andrew with a pair of receiving touchdowns as well. Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. We're in the Timber Mart broadcast booth here at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Wagner and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. The right-hander is Kevin Kelly. He is aboard for Tampa Bay. Deals to Whit Merrifield, who swings at the first pitch. Pops it up back of second. Caminero retreats. He's there. That's an infield fly. And there are 2 down. Runners could advance at their own risk. That pop-up. But Dalton Varsho stands at second, and Tyler Heineman catching his breath still at first.
Tom Young just gave me a little piece of paper that said Thunder Bay. We forgot about Thunder Bay and how close that is to Minneapolis.
Thunder Bay, I like it. Brandon Belt swings and misses. That's strike 1. Which part of Thunder Bay? That's an enormous piece of territory. Or are you just talking about the town? Yeah,
I think
north.
Tom Young just loves Thunder Bay.
The region, yeah. He loves it this time of year. Pitch over for a cold strike, and it's 0-2 on Belt. Kelly's been in and out of this bullpen a lot this year. 56 appearances.
0-2. Outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chris, I don't know about you, but in the last couple of weeks, it just felt like the Blue Jays and the Rays were on a collision course to play a potential 9 games in 14 days. The 1-2. Up and out. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And
that's
just too much. It's too much.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around a different opponent right now.
Well, you already have your board shorts packed and ready to go and your tank tops for Tampa.
The 2-2. Outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Bell tries to bounce back from an 0-2.
You're just mad that you're going to have to repack.
That's not true. I have a stack of shorts and T-shirts, and I got a stack of pants and sweaters. Runners go. 3-2. Strike 3 called. Fastball down the middle. Belt retired looking. And the side comes to a close. 11-6. The Rays in front as we go to the 7th. This is Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
So when inflation throws you a curveball, at least your pizza price won't. That's what I call a swing and a drive. Lock in today at fixedratepizza.ca.
What's happening these days? Gas and food prices are through the roof, and mortgage rates are skyrocketing too. Talk about bad timing.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the BetRivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add BetRivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. BetRivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Time for the 7th inning, being brought to you by WestJet. Overdue for a catch-up? We've got a flight for that. Book your flight across Canada at WestJet.com. WestJet, proud to be the official airline of the Toronto Blue Jays. With Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Wagner. Rays have an 11-6 lead over the Blue Jays. Toronto goes back to the bullpen. Another lefty, and Yenesis Cabrera is out to work. Pitch change brought to you by Certainteed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Cabrera ready to Rene Pinto, right-handed batter. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The 0-1 hit high in the air out to center field. Varsho is camping out underneath it. He makes the play. 1 up and 1 down.
And the last few guys that you'll probably see in this game for the Blue Jays are guys that need some work. Chad Green, Cabrera, Tim Meza hasn't thrown in a couple days. You probably won't see guys that threw yesterday. I guess Trevor Richards would have been the only guy.
Junior Caminero at the plate. Swings and misses, strike 1. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Paying a lot of attention to what's going on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. It is staying 1-0 Seattle over the Texas Rangers. But the Astros getting in front early over the Diamondbacks, and this lopsided start for the Rays over the Blue Jays kind of turning the tide in what we were projecting and how crazy things could be. It's eliminating an entire scenario from the Blue Jays and their ticket in the postseason. Caminero takes high 1-2. Everything holds up the way that the out-of-town scores are going with the 3 games we're zeroing in on. The Blue Jays are still going to Minneapolis. It's still 6-0 now in the 7th inning. Astros leading the Diamondbacks. Cabrera missed high and away. Here's the 2-2. That's low. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You were talking earlier about guys going home to Tampa and how a lot of guys have houses in that area or in South Florida. I think it's beneficial to the Blue Jays that they're not going home. Less distraction, probably less family members at games. What do you think?
3-2. Swing and a miss. Camanero's down on strikes. I go back to that 2020 campaign where the Blue Jays, even though it was a very strange season for a number of ways, the closeness of that group, all the time that they spent together. Last year, that was a crazy finish to the regular season, a season that ended and then started in the postseason here at home for the Blue Jays. It'd be really unique, I think, from a team bonding standpoint, to get the Blue Jays to Minneapolis. Oslavis Bazabe will pinch hit. He takes away ball 1.
And you're talking about them being able to stay in their own beds, but the Ritz-Carlton is not bad either, my friend.
Pitch from Cabrera missed outside. 1 ball, out of 2 balls and no strikes. And that's why we call you first class.
Well, that's not the hotel we're staying in, but
the 2-0 fouled back by Bazabe. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rays 11, Blue Jays 6. Bigger conversation. What do you do in Game 2? What do you do in Game 3 for the Blue Jays in that rotation? Kevin Gausman gets the start. That seems to be how everything is indicating the Blue Jays move into the postseason. Bazabe with a ground ball that kicks off the first base bag, going the opposite way for a long single. 2-out base runner for the Rays.
I think it's an easy answer. Bassett Barrios next.
I'm kind of with you on that one, too. I thought the body of work has been tremendous for Jose Barrios this season. I think down the stretch, though, Chris Bassett pitched him in to being the second man up for the Blue Jays.
And I don't think Barrios would be upset by that either.
I don't think so either. And if this ticket turns out to be where we're going into Minneapolis, there's a lot of familiarity for Jose Barrios in that franchise. You know him just as well now as the Blue Jays do. Harold Ramirez takes a curveball in for strike 1. Oh, 1 on a line out to deep right field, racing back on the move. Merrifield reaches out and he can't rail it in. Bazabe being waved towards the plate around third. The throw gets to the middle of the diamond. No throw on the RBI double for Harold Ramirez. Bazabe's in from first. The Rays have a dozen on the scoreboard and now have a 12-6 lead.
Actually, wasn't a bad pitch by Cabrera. Fastball down and away. And Harold Ramirez is such a good hitter. Goes with it, sticks the bat out, so strong. One hops that wall in right field.
Isak Paredes at the plate. Walked a couple of times and doubled and scored twice. Paredes gets a strike from the lefty Cabrera. 0-1. Outside corner called strike, and it's 0-2. Two down, runner at second. Cabrera's 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Paredes is down on strikes, and the side comes to an end. One more run for the Rays here in downtown Toronto. It's time for us to stretch with Tampa Bay leading 12-6 over Toronto. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming through the new Sportsnet app and over the Sportsnet radio network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
October, be at Rogers Center. Witness this team and experience next level loud. Lock in the 2024 season ticket membership to access postseason baseball. The only way to guarantee postseason access is by becoming a member. Visit BlueJays.com/season ticket.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
When you wanna bet on sports, played on a field or ice or courts, Bet Rivers is the place. Over, under, money line, same game parlays, it's all fine.
You'll put a smile on your face.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook is your home for chance, where you can bet on the sports you love. Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Download the app.
Take a chance.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bo Bichette out of the stretch will lead it off for the Blue Jays here at Rogers Center. Toronto doubled up by Tampa Bay, 12-6, as we begin the bottom of the seventh inning. Kevin Kelly, the left-hander, steps off and everybody resets. Something got out of the stands. So, they had to track it down in left field. Raimel Tapia is now positioned where he should be. Kelly deals. Outside corner on Bo for strike one.
And right on cue, Chad Green is warming up in that bullpen, a guy that probably needs a little bit of work. Nice 12 to 14 pitch inning will do him right.
Fastball inside on Bo. 1 ball and 1 strike. Green was getting loose late yesterday while the Blue Jays were watching Jordan Romano and then Jordan Hicks pitch in the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. Eventually the Rays opened it up and took the win. Bo fouls the 1-1 back, and it's 1-2. Kelly deals. Bichette takes high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Way outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Bo. Today 0 for 3. Don't say that too often about Bo. Bounced out, fly to center, and struck out. And he shoots another one off to the right past the cameras. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Bichette. Payoff. And inside out swing, looped foul, first base side. just taking a quick glance at what the Minnesota Twins might be rolling out against the Blue Jays. One, their best pitching staff in a long time, or most complete pitching staff for postseason success. 3-2. In tight. That's ball 4. Leadoff walk. Twins have been playing some really good baseball down the stretch. But this is still a franchise that has not won a postseason game in the last 18 that they've played. We're not just talking about series. They have not won their last 18 postseason games. You have to go all the way back to Game 2 of the ALDS in 2004. David Schneider gets a fastball in the outside corner, strike 1. Oh, 1. That rides high. 1 ball and 1 strike. For the Minnesota Twins, since the last postseason victory in any series, there have been 12 different World Series winners. 1-1. Fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swapping some notes with some of my colleagues in Minneapolis here as this thing kind of surprises all of us. And this is panning out. They're like, who are the Blue Jays? Well, who are the Twins today? They're a little beat up. 1-2. Watch out. Schneider backs away. Carlos Correa hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Royce Lewis hasn't played since the middle of September. Byron Buxton now hasn't played in 2 months. And Jorge Polanco left yesterday's game. Two to Schneider. And it misses outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Twins have been battling injuries all season long. In fact, the Angels and the Giants are the only 2 teams that have more time missed by injured list time than the Twins. 3-2 lined out a play to the right. The Twins have lost 682 days of action on the injured list. Pablo Lopez lined up to start game 1. Sonny Gray getting game 2. 3-2, swing and a miss. Schneider down on strikes. If it goes to game 3, it looks like Joe Ryan would be the game 3 starter.
Who really hasn't been that great at all. Over his last 15 games, he almost has a 6 ERA.
Sounds like it was a Joe Ryan, Kenta Maeda decision on who to play in game 3.
I'm not worried about either.
I'm not either. Here's Kevin Biggio. He lines one up the middle, a base hit into center field. Dropped it into the out.
I'll gladly take my chances with Jose Barrios against either one of those guys.
Blue Jays trailing by 6 runs here in the 7th. Santiago Espinal. He'll head to the dish. Pitch Espy on the inside corner for strike 1. By the way, Cavan with another base hit today. Give him 2. Plus he's been hit by a pitch. I think that lineup that we saw on Friday and on Thursday, that's going to be your game 1 lineup. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Espinal. With the Blue Jays rolled out, George Springer, Brandon Belt, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1, 2, 3. Bo into that cleanup spot. That'd be the new top half. 0-2. Corked out a play up the left side. Taj Bradley loosening in the bullpen. Here's another showcase for somebody for Kevin Cash. Bradley had been working in the rotation for Tampa Bay. And into this series, Kevin Cash said there are a couple of guys you want to see how they do in a new scenario. And Bradley being one of them. Espinal takes up and out. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
1-2. In for strike 3. Hit the outside corner with a breaking ball. Espinal down looking. 2 away here in the 7th. Blue Jays trailing 12-6. We've got a final score to report on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Dominic Canzone's RBI holds up 1-0. Seattle winning over the Texas Rangers. Barcio clubs the first pitch to the alley. Left center field. Margot on the sprint. Reaches out and he dropped it again. That's down as Bichette comes in to score. Biggio ends up at third. And another miscue in this series by Manuel Margot, who's dropped 3 balls in center field.
I'll tell you what, if I'm the Tampa Bay Rays, I'm concerned about how he's played in the outfield this weekend.
That tells you Jose Siri can't get healthy quick enough. You don't want questions on balls like that should be caught. That was in the end of his glove and dropped. Blue Jays played a run. It's now 12-7. Tyler Heineman pulls the first pitch he sees foul up the right side.
I'd rather have that ball boy in center field than Manuel Margot. He made a tough play right there.
Nice. That was a nice grab. Low line hook.
At least he stays focused.
0-1. Check swing. Did I hit him or did he foul it? It hit him. It hit Heineman on the hand. And then the ricochet came down and hit Rene Pinto. So Heineman gets aboard, and all of a sudden the bases are loaded. Well, this certainly adds a certain dynamic to this game we didn't expect early. After the Rays scored 7 runs early, it looked like they were going to run away with this one.
So the Blue Jays come back and win this game.
Then we start to crumple the paper in front of us.
Then you repack your tank tops and your floral board shorts?
Will not be my game day attire, but it's one of those things. They will be packed. Houston Astros were leading easily in Arizona earlier today. Mariners season is done, 88-74. They finished 3rd in the American League West. Texas Ranger loss. All but seals the deal for an American League Western championship for the Houston Astros. Here's Cam Eden with the bases loaded in front of him.
So the way it sits
Takes
now,
a strike.
The Blue Jays go to Minnesota. Hypothetically, they win in Minnesota. They go to Houston.
Correct.
Gotcha.
That's the path. 0-1. Up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And are we fearful of Houston?
Blue Jays are 1 swing away from getting into this game. Eden takes way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, I think you're always fearful of Houston. They have so much experience in what the postseason is all about. Astros, of course, have a great rotation. The 2-1. Right over for a called strike, and it's 2-2.
I think the scariest part with them is they know how to win. They might not have been
the body of work, isn't it?
They might not have been the best team this year, but they just know how to win.
Win today would be their 90th. 2-2. Fouled back by Eden. Two balls and 2 strikes on Eden. Bases loaded. And he chops it off the plate. Races up the first base line. Kelly from the mound fields. Throws to first in time to retire the speedster. And the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded, but they will tally here in the 7th. It's now Tampa Bay 12 and Toronto 7. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
Best paid teachers in Canada, right here in Ontario. We're investing in new reading and math supports and spending billions to upgrade and build state-of-the-art schools. Students are back in classrooms with their friends where they belong, so they learn the skills they need now for the jobs of the future. Learn more.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
When you wanna bet on sports, played on a field or ice or courts,
Bet Rivers is the place.
Over, under, money line, same game parlays, it's all fine.
We'll put a smile on your face.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook is your home for chance, where you can bet on the sports you love. Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Download the app.
Take a chance.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Chad Green out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays as we move into the 8th inning, brought to you by Desjardins. Desjardins Insurance, with a heart so big, it shows. Visit Desjardins.com/heart today. (12-7) Tampa Bay in front. This pitch and change brought to you by Certainty, the Pro's Choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Pro all the way. Green ready to work on Jonathan Aranda, who's had a career day for Tampa Bay. First pitch in there for strike one. Aranda busy at the plate today, going 3 for 4, driving in 6. Triple from the Scheichel. Fastball from Green inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. His day started with an RBI single in the first inning, a grand slam in the second, an RBI double in the 6th. 1-1. Tapped away foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two. Fouled away into the glove. Aranda's retired. 1 away in the 8th.
And that's that good fastball that Chad Green used in New York that made him so successful. 95, 97, up in the zone. It's almost like a rise ball. It's that invisible that some pitchers are able to throw. The Blue Jays will be very happy if he can throw that in the playoffs.
Curtis Mead gets a curveball. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Curve missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Mead. We're inside the Timber Mart broadcast booth here this afternoon. The 1-1. That's high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blue Jays using Chad Green, using Tim Meza, Yenesis Cabrera, a little sharpening work, trying to get things lined up for their postseason berth that starts on Tuesday afternoon. 2-1, pulled foul weakly. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. If anything points to where the Blue Jays will find themselves in day 1 of postseason play, Major League Baseball has given us a roadmap over the last couple of years. It'll be an afternoon tilt. The 2-2.
Low liner, step and a dive by Biggio. He's got the out.
And you've said that a lot recently. Step and a dive, and Biggio has the out. He's just like a vacuum wherever he's playing.
It is really nice, isn't it? I mean, everything is coming together on both sides, offensively, defensively, for Cavan Biggio, no matter where he plays.
If you had to compare him to a former big leaguer, current big leaguer, who...
Pop up on the right side. Fittingly, Biggio is underneath it. Arms spread apart, a one-handed grab. And the Rays are retired 1-2-3. We'll talk more about Cavan in the bottom of the 8th inning, where the Blue Jays trail 12-7 against the Rays. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey guys, have you heard of Collars & Co? Mark Cuban just invested $1 million in this company on Shark Tank. They make the original dress collar polo. It's a super soft 4-way stretch polo, but the top has a firm dress collar on it. So it gives you that dress shirt look, but with an extremely comfortable polo feel. They look sharp by themselves and killer with a sweater or blazer. They also have amazing long sleeve dress shirts, stretch chinos, and luxe quarter zips. Whether you're back to the office or looking to elevate your weekend looks, you've got to check them out. CollarsandCo.com. Use code TIKI for 15% off your first order.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
All. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
There are no layups on this lineup. Every 8.
Major League Baseball's regular season in its final innings across the land, including today. Last of the 8th inning, 12-7. Tampa Bay on top of the Blue Jays here in game number 162. Top of the card, Whit Merrifield, Brandon Belt, Bo Bichette coming up. With Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Wagner inside the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Rays go to the bullpen in between innings. Whit Merrifield scalds it over to the shortstop. Hit that ball extremely hard for out number 1. After it was delivered by Taj Bradley in this pitching change. Brought to you by CertainTeed, the Pro's Choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. CertainTeed Pro all the way. This is Brandon Belt. Plays off the high heater from Bradley. That's ball 1. Belt today 1 for 4. The 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes on Belt, who's logged the most playing time this season, even with that short stint on the injured list, than he has in since 2019. The 2-0. Hit high and deep. Out to right field. You can forget it. That ball's long gone. What a key cog coming down the stretch for the Blue Jays. Brandon Belt delivers number 19 on the season, and the Blue Jays now trail 12-8.
He's been such a key part of this lineup over the last month and a half, 2 months or so. Key part of that clubhouse, key part of this lineup. The Blue Jays need him in October for sure.
He delivers a WestJet home run. Overdue for a catch-up. We've got a flight for that. Book your flight across Canada at WestJet.com. WestJet, proud to be the official airline of the Toronto Blue Jays. Bo takes a curveball outside for ball 1.
And ironically, another home run with the roof open, which he hates.
The 1-0. Bo hits it well down the right field line. Into the corner. Bazabe can't get there in time. It lands fair, then shoots away from the right fielder. A stutter step around second. Bo holds his balance. Dives into third with a triple. They don't happen at third base all too often for Bo Bichette. He lost his balance, got it back on track, and then was trying to stop laughing on his way to third. He gives a big bear hug to the third base bag as he arrives with a triple.
Well, those kinds of plays are completely unnecessary. I would have been happy with him just standing on second base. But the crowd loved it. It's always fun to see a triple.
Here's Davis Schneider. Swing and a miss, strike one. Infield back, 4-run lead for the Rays. 0-1. In for a strike, and it's 0-2. Bo with his third triple this season. Oh, 2. That's low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis Schneider has walked, hit a couple of doubles, plated a pair of runs. Oh, 2. That's in the air up the line and right and will drift foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This ball game has seen a combined 27 hits. 1-2. Popped it up over the diamond. The shortstop Meade underneath it. Steps on the infield turf, makes the play, and there are 2 out. Another chance for Kevin Biggio. Righty deals. Biggio hits it out of play to the left. Oh, 1. Strike at the knees on Biggio, and it's 0-2. Eric Swanson loosening in the bullpen. The 0-2. Check swing. Did he take? He did. Down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Biggio. We're watching the J-Scare take home 50-50 in the Super September jackpot, where one fan is guaranteed to take over $5.5 million home. Pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The take home is over $5.5 million. You can still get involved. Go to bluejays.com/5050. That's bluejays.com/5050 anywhere in Ontario. 2-2. Bounced in. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And that $5.5 million is just September.
Just September.
Wow.
It's been an exciting month. Payoff. Ground ball, middle of the diamond. Meade ranges to the second base side. He's got it. Throws out Biggio at first base to retire the side. Brandon Belt got everybody revved up with his solo home run here in the 8th inning. Blue Jays draw within 12-8. And we go to the 9th. This is Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
Premium winter tires, batteries, brakes, and more. Beat the winter rush and book an appointment today. Visit shoptoyota.ca or contact your local Toyota dealer.
Ontario has never invested more in student success. We're hiring thousands of new educators to work alongside some of the
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Look out, golf fans. It's time to take a swing with the Bet Rivers Sportsbook app, where you can bet pre-tournament and in-play on all major tournaments around the world. Then track every shot with live streaming, live leaderboards with real-time updates, and interactive 3D course maps. Add Bet Rivers award-winning customer service, and it's a hole-in-one. Bet Rivers Sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21 plus. Available in Illinois only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Top of the ninth inning, the Blue Jays make a pitching change with Eric Swanson aboard. This pitching change is brought to you by Certainty, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Certainty Pro all the way. Eric Swanson waiting on the Rays to head towards the plate. Tampa Bay with a 7-run second inning. The big difference in this one, a 12-8 lead. Raimel Tapia will lead it off for Tampa Bay. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul back, strike one. I feel like I should be working in November, calling states during an election. Texas defeated today 1-0. That would have been a too close to call. The 0-1 clanked off the shin guard of the umpire. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm going to go ahead and call Arizona and Houston. It's 8-1. Astros leading the Diamondbacks in the 9th. 1-1's over from Swanson, and it's 1-2. The Blue Jays may have had their biggest opportunity with the bases loaded to really crawl back in this game. In the 7th, they came away with 1 run. Brandon Belt added a tally in the 8th. It's now 12-8 Tampa Bay. There's a ground ball up the middle of the diamond. Shoots past Bichette into center. Tapia is aboard for the 3rd time today. Leadoff single for the Rays in the 9th. So let's just say the Blue Jays lose, just in this scenario. If the Blue Jays lose, already an Astros victory and a Ranger loss, Blue Jays are going to Minneapolis. With an Astros win, a Rangers loss, and a Blue Jay victory, there still is an outside shot if there's a massive rally in the bottom of the 9th inning for Toronto to go to the Trop. Running from first is going. Pitch called a strike. Good throw by Heineman down to the bag. Tapia swipes his 2nd of the day.
That's a beautiful thing. Tapia, not your scenarios. That stolen base is a beautiful thing. We never see it in Toronto, so that's why it's a beautiful thing to see that.
10 stolen base in 3 different cities for Raimel Tapia, who I think is really trying to showcase every skill he can give Kevin Cash to think about for a spot in the postseason. Rene Pinto fouls the 1-0 back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So that 3rd scenario, Toronto comes back and wins this ball game. Still Tampa or Minnesota?
Tampa.
Tampa.
They'd be the 2nd place in the wild card. Top of the 9th inning at the Desert. Astros with an 8-1 lead. Pinto pulls 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If Tapia is still standing out there with one out, I would venture to guess that he tries to take third base. If he's trying to showcase his wheels for the playoffs and try to get on that playoff roster.
Pitch up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss by Pinto, and he's down on strikes. There is one away. Let's see if Tapia. You know what? I might have misspoke on my big board here. Astros win. Texas losses. So the Blue Jays are secured in that number 3 spot. A lot going on. 8 different scenarios for the Blue Jays going into play today. Junior Caminero gets a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-1.
I've stopped trying to figure it out. I'm just waiting until Andrew Brown sends me my flight itinerary.
It's going to be a busy man in about an hour. Oh, 0-1. Upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And you can actually see how much more active Tapia is at second base now. With 0 outs, the baseball rule is don't make the first and third out at third base. So now that there's 1 out, he is jumping up and down, moving around, ready to steal third.
1-1. Check swing and a comebacker handled by Swanson. No peek at second. Easy feed over to first. Caminero retired, 2 away. Blue Jays were really hoping for their 90th win on the season. Trailing 12-8. Levis Bazabe gets a first pitch strike. Blue Jays looking to become a 90-win winner for 3 straight seasons for the second time in franchise history. 0-1. Fouled away. Hugs the line, picked up foul on the third base side by Heineman. No balls and 2 strikes on Bazabe. 91, 92, and 93, all 90 or more wins. In the 2021 campaign, the Blue Jays won 91 ball games, missed the playoffs by a game. Last season, the Blue Jays had 92 victories and went into the American League wild card as the number 1 wild card.
The funny thing about that is nobody remembers how many wins they've had in the regular season. They care about Seattle. They care about Texas. They care about Kansas City.
The 0-2 popped up. Back of home plate. Heineman gives it a look. It's into the seats.
It's all about who's hot right now. Doesn't matter how many wins you've had. Doesn't matter about any of that. Who is hot right now? And I think if you ask anybody in that clubhouse, they're not worried about 90 wins or 89 or 92. They're worried about Minnesota and Pablo Lopez and Sonny Gray, and that's it.
0-2. Ground ball left side, cut up in the hole by Espinal. On the move with a jump throw to first in time to get the out and retire this side. Middle of the 9th, the Blue Jays trailing 12-8 in the regular season finale. This is Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
2-minute-truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute-truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of...
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss the excitement this winter at Purcell Pavilion and Compton Family Ice Arena. Season tickets are on sale now for Notre Dame hockey, men's and women's basketball games for the 2023-24 season. Also, don't miss Notre Dame football's regular season finale against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 18th. It's the last opportunity to catch the Irish at home inside Notre Dame Stadium this season. Tickets to all Fighting Irish home contests are available at fightingirish.com/buy tickets.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Adley with you at the Rogers Center. Jays trail 12-8, heading to bottom 9. Quick check on the Bet365 standings update. Download the Bet365 app and check out the latest odds for today's baseball games. 19-plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. So the Mariners win 1-0 over the Rangers. Astros are up 8-1 on the Diamondbacks in the 9th inning. So if the Astros win their game, they will win the AL West with tiebreakers over the Rangers. Texas will end the season as the second wild card, and that means either a Jays win or loss here at the Rogers Center will send the Jays on their merry way to Target Field in Minnesota. A quick reminder that Jays Talk follows every single game. Blair and Barker have the postgame show tonight. Blair is right here in the booth, and he wants your calls. He will throw out the numbers to call. I am certain there will be a lot of Minnesota Twins talk in this show, but hey, get to whatever you like on Jays Talk with Blair and Barker after the final out. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. They trail the Rays 8-12, heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Wagner and Chris LaRue.
Well, the last of the 9th certainly is our focus, but there's some concern on Sportsnet TV cameras with Bo Bichette down in the dugout. 12-8, Tampa Bay leading Toronto. Andrew Kittredge aboard to face Santiago Espinal. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Pitching change brought to you by Certainteed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. Certainteed Pro all the way. Right-hander readies and deals to Espinal. Fastball's called outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Remember Bo Bichette losing his balance a little bit and then righting himself, digging for the triple. Spent some considerable time talking with the trainer, Jose Ministral, in the dugout in between innings. Pitch over for a called strike, and it's 2-1 on Espinal. John Schneider came over, a couple of teammates asking Bo what was going on. The 2-1. Line into center field, a base hit. Base hit for Espinal, leading off the 9th. Blue Jays are down 4 runs. Dalton Varsho comes to the plate.
In the moment, it didn't really seem like anything was of concern. It was a weird stumble around second base, and then he had that awkward head-first slide into third base, but he had a big smile on his face. He was talking with Lou Rivera at third base.
Dalton Varsho takes a fastball called strike.
So I'm hoping for everybody involved that it's nothing serious, and maybe he has just a cut on his arm.
You could tell one teammate was kind of getting his attention, asking what was up, and he just kind of winced. The 0-1. Swinging a line drive out to right field. Bazabe freezes, plunges forward, and hangs with the play. That was a tough read by Bazabe. Didn't look that fluid, making the play on Varsho's liner in right field, but there's one down.
And that ball was inches away from being another triple. Misplayed ball by that right fielder. That was a nice play by Bazabe.
Tyler Heidemann steps up. The pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike 1. Blue Jays in the 9th, trailing 12-8. They're postseason bound for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. Oh, 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Heidemann's had a nice day at the plate. Tripled for the first time in his career. Came in to score a run back in the 2nd. Took a walk in the 4th. Drove home a run in the 6th inning. with a base hit. And then it was hit by a pitch back in the 7th. Oh, 2 from Kittredge. Swinging a line drive foul. Oh, 2 on Heineman.
Is there any scenario where Tyler Heineman plays in the playoffs? Starts a game?
No, no. Not the way that the playoffs are laid out. Alejandro Kirk has passed every test physically. The 0-2. That's poked back foul. So many valuable things about Alejandro Kirk. One, getting through all this time with Danny Jansen on the injured list. His receiving capability. The fact that bat has been hitting more line drives more consistently recently.
You don't think that his base running is a hindrance?
The 0-2 pitch in the air, left side, twisting off near the screen, and it lands foul. Well, the question was, does Tyler Heineman start?
Sure. I actually like Tyler Heineman's game. I think that he's a decent backstop. I think that he can swing the bat a little bit. There's a lot of positives from Tyler Heineman. And sometimes Alejandro Kirk is, in my opinion, not the greatest catcher.
The 0-2 to Heineman, popped him up right side in foul territory. Aranda, the first baseman on top of the coach's box, makes the play, and there are 2 out.
And that's why I brought up the question. I just wanted to see what your opinion was.
I just think if there was any sort of stock put in playing time for Tyler Heineman, he would be playing way more over the last 3 weeks than what he's played.
I agree. That was a great answer. That's the answer that I wanted.
2 down in the 9th. 12-8, Tampa Bay leading. Cam Eden at the plate. And he hits one in the middle of the diamond. Meade's got it. Underhand feed to second. That will finish the ball game as the Blue Jays go into the 9th inning. They do not score. The Rays will take 162, 12-8. But now the Blue Jays, who have waited all day to party, can finally pop the tops and let the champagne pour in the clubhouse. The Blue Jays are postseason bound for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. Their ticket is stamped to Minneapolis, where Game 1 of the American League wildcard begins on Tuesday afternoon.
I think the biggest thing for this team is they need to forget about this game. They need to get on that plane, and they need to worry about Pablo Lopez. They don't need to worry about how many wins they had. They don't need to worry about not winning the division. This team is built for October. This team has the pitching. This team has the defense, and they have the bullpen. All they need is timely hitting. Dalton Varsho will be a huge factor in this series. Kevin Biggio will be a huge factor. If Vlad, Bo, and those guys can play the roles that they are being paid to play, and then you have the role players like Varsho and Kevin Biggio, if they can be successful, this team is built to win in October.
Today's a 12-8 final score, but certainly not really dissecting anything that unfolded today. It's about the next step. And you said built for October. So much of the last couple of weeks, as we talked about during the course of today's game, felt like it was another collision course at the Trop, where the Blue Jays could play 9 games in the span of 14 days. Forget all that. Now there's a little bit more of unknown, a mystique, because the Blue Jays haven't played the Minnesota Twins in forever. Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray, that's the 1-2 punch coming the way. How do you feel the Blue Jays in their rotation stack up, thinking it's Kevin Gausman and Chris Bassett game 1, game 2?
Well, I was speaking with Jeff Blair earlier, and he was telling me that Kevin Gausman hasn't fared well against the Minnesota Twins this year, which I totally get. I see the results, but this is different. I think that if Kevin Gausman can close the book on his history this season with the Minnesota Twins, and he can pitch his game, and his split finger is violent down in the zone, the Minnesota Twins have no chance.
In 2020, the Blue Jays, in my opinion, got a little too creative in what they did with their pitching scenario. They didn't go with Hyunjin Ryu, who had been so steady, so consistent in Game 1 of the American League wild card. Robbie Ray was roughed up in Game 1, and then it was up to Hyunjin Ryu and company to rebound and try to salvage the season in Game 2. Danny Jansen hit 2 home runs in that ball game. Ryu really never recovered from that short scenario where it was a best of 3 and the Blue Jays were 2 and out that day. Is there any scenario in your mind, do you stick with Kevin Gausman in Game 1, or like in 2020, do you pivot thinking your backup plan is really good with Kevin Gausman if you go with the Chris Bassitt in Game 1?
Absolutely not. Kevin Gausman, Game 1, Chris Bassitt, Game 2. And if they lose one of those games, Jose Barrios, number 3. I don't see any scenario where you don't go with Kevin Gausman. He's been your guy all season. Sure, Jose Barrios has been good. Chris Bassitt has been good. But Kevin Gausman, for the most part, has been outstanding. And that's the guy you go with. No questions asked. You don't mess around in situations like this. You go with your guy.
The stage is set. The Blue Jays point the plane to the Midwest. They'll be in Minneapolis coming up on Tuesday afternoon. It's Game 1 of the American League Wild Card when Major League Baseball announces the times and the first pitches. Chris LaRue and I will be there to broadcast it for you across our Sportsnet radio network, and a whole host of guests and programming will shoulder each and every play-by-play story as the postseason starts to unfold. We know this, Game 1 will be on Tuesday afternoon for the Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. More coverage coming up here from Rogers Center with this final. 12-8, the Rays win it over the Blue Jays. Jeff Blair, Kevin Barker are on standby. They've got Blue Jays talk to field your phone calls, celebrate the season that was, and the anticipation of the postseason that begins in 48 hours from now. Back to talk about it with the totals, our play of the game, and a little bit more as the postgame show begins right after this with Blue Jays baseball. Brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
October, be at Rogers Center. Witness this team and experience next level loud. Lock in the 2024 season ticket membership to access postseason baseball. The only way to guarantee postseason access is by becoming a member. Visit BlueJays.com.
The celebration is just a couple of seconds away from beginning down in that Toronto Blue Jays clubhouse. Cigars in between the lips, the champagne out of ice and in hands. Oh, looks like the light show and the music have started downstairs. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer milling around. Sportsnet cameras on site as well as the celebration begins downstairs for the Blue Jays en route to the postseason after this final score at Rogers Center. 12-8, the Rays over the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays will finish the regular season 89-73. The Tampa Bay Rays are 99-63. Tampa Bay, 12 runs on 16 hits today, 1 error. 6 for 15 at the plate with runners in scoring position, 8 men left on base. 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays, 10 left on, and 5 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Wes Parsons in his Blue Jays debut allowed 9 runs on 10 hits. He was done after 4. Jacob Lopez got the start today for Tampa Bay. 5 1/3, 6 runs, 5 earned on 8 hits. He's a winner, 1-0 for the first decision of the season. The loss to Wes Parsons this afternoon for the Blue Jay right-hander. 2 hours and 47 minutes worth of action, 42,058, a sellout crowd at Rogers Center watching all of this unfold today and celebrating the send-off that is officially now covered in champagne in that Blue Jays clubhouse. Time now for our play of the game, brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can bet on things like player props, game totals, or game outcomes, and today's baseball games. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. One big swing really turned the tide here this afternoon. In the second inning, Wes Parsons making his first ever outing as a Toronto Blue Jay, ran into some trouble in the first, and then in the second, allowed RBI bases to Junior Caminero and Josh Lowe. Hit a man, walked a man, bases were loaded, and Jonathan Miranda continued a day where he swung the bat out of his mind. Looking for a double play ball behind Parsons. The 1-0. In the air, hit high and deep out to right field. Merrifield turns around, and that is all sorts of trouble. Aranda delivers a grand slam. Just like that, 8-0 Tampa Bay. It soars over the fence in deep right field. Aranda's got his second home run of the season. Still nobody out here in the second inning.
And again, this Blue Jays lineup today wasn't the lineup that you'll see on Tuesday against Minnesota. So the results today, we don't even really need to pay attention to what happened today. Wes Parsons is a guy that he was called up to do exactly what he did today, throw 89 pitches and maybe not give up as many runs, but they just needed a body to be out there to throw pitches instead of somebody that will be on that playoff roster. Like I said earlier, the Blue Jays are built for October. I know there's been a lot of ups and downs this year. There's been a lot of comments about the offense. But in the playoffs, you need pitching, defense, and timely hitting. And the Blue Jays can do that. All they have to do is come up with the big hit with a guy on second base, down by 1 run, and they'll be fine. With the starting pitching that they have in Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, and Kevin Gossman, and then, of course, the bullpen that they have, things are looking good. And in my opinion, they can beat Minnesota, they can beat Houston, and then we'll see in Baltimore.
Questions around the health of the Minnesota Twins. We know the 1-2 punch the Blue Jays will have to deal with are pretty good, right? You got Pablo Lopez, you got Sonny Gray. What's your main concern about facing the Twins?
I think that we've been so focused on Tampa. I think that's my main concern is a lot of these guys are like, oh, we're playing Minnesota now. Who's on Minnesota again? I think they have to go in, look at the scouting reports, prepare, and they'll be fine. I'm not scared of Pablo Lopez. I'm not scared of Sonny Gray. I would have been more concerned if we were facing, like I said, Tyler Glasnow, because he's a guy that can throw 8 shutty, no problem, if he's on.
That's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Wagner. We wrap up here from Rogers Center. If the Blue Jays return, that's all sorts of good news. That also means the Blue Jays got out of the wild card against the Minnesota Twins. They are preparing for a week-long road trip. The American League wild card that begins on Tuesday, and then an off day on Friday before the division series would begin next weekend for a opponent that, the way the bracket is shaking out, would place the Blue Jays against the Houston Astros if they advance out of the first round. We will talk to you from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the Blue Jays will have Game 1 of the American League Wild Card coming up on Tuesday afternoon. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. For Armin Zargarian, Drew Adams, Tom Young, Shoal Lee, Ben Schulman, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Wagner. Time now for you to get involved in our post-game show coverage. Jeff Blair, Kevin Barker are ready to celebrate the arrival of the postseason with you and Blue Jays Talk.
Sloan is welcoming fans back to the friendly confines this season. As the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs, Sloan is once again proud to provide our world-class array of sustainable, touch-free commercial restroom products throughout Wrigley Field. With the industry's largest selection of connected faucets and flushometers, Sloan's IoT products offer a glimpse into the restroom of the future. Learn more about Sloan commercial restroom products for your business at sloan.com. And let's go Cubs!
All right, Kevin Barker, you wanted the Minnesota Twins. You got the Minnesota Twins. The AL Wildcard Series begins Tuesday in the Twin Cities. It'll be the Jays and the Minnesota Twins. The Jays losing this afternoon to the Tampa Bay Rays, 12-8. The Houston Astros grabbing the AL West with their win in Arizona today. In the process, knocking Texas out. And if you want to look ahead, what today's results also have done is they mean if the Blue Jays get past Minnesota, they will face the Houston Astros in the next round. They've played the Astros well this year. I know about the Astros pedigree, obviously. The Jays have played the Astros well this year. They have a winning record against the Astros, one of the few 500 above 500 teams they have a winning record against. They've also done pretty decently against them in the past. So that sets the table right now for the postseason. Kevin, give me your thoughts about where this team is right now, and is now the time to simply reset. You forget about everything that happened. You know you've got really good defense. You know your starting pitching's lined up and healthy. And, yeah, you didn't have a great series against Tampa Bay, but you know what? You scored some runs. You hit some home runs. You got some extra base hits. It's maybe the best we've seen this team offensively all year.
Yeah, I think if you want to get to the championship series, it's easier to do it not having to go through the Orioles. I mean, it's plain and simple.
Yes.
The Orioles, for me, are just a better team than the Blue Jays are all around. Like, they give the Blue Jays fits for reasons, and I think it would just be easier. If you're going to have to play the Orioles, don't do it in the second round. Do it in the championship series. So I think it's just an easier road to that. Look, coming up in Minnesota, for me anyway, I think the one issue that the Blue Jays staff does have is giving up homers to lefties. Coming into today, they were first in baseball at allowing homers to lefties. You look at it, Bassett's given up 21 homers against lefties. Gosman, I think, 11 out of his 19 are against lefties. Barrios has given up homers against lefties. The Twins can run probably, in one certain game, about 6 lefties. So for me, that's the one thing. And some swing and miss out of the pen would be nice from the Blue Jays, right? The rotation you're thinking is probably going to make adjustments when they have to. They'll do their best to, if they do give up homers, not walking people would help you give up the solo shots instead of the 2-run homers. It's going to be a dogfight. It's, for me, about keeping the lefties in the yard, and it's about clutch hitting. If they can get 2 of those, I think they'll move on. But it's no easy feat, right? I don't think the weather, playing outdoors, I don't think that has anything to do with it. On Tuesday, it's going to be in the 80s. I think it's the low of the high 60s. Wednesday and Thursday, it might be a little chilly. I think it's high of in the 60s. So I don't think that's going to be a giant deal. I just think it's about you do your job, you keep it in the yard, you get a hit when it matters, you don't beat yourself. The Jays are just as good as the Twins. Go out there and show it. And we've heard a lot about this team's geared up for the playoffs. This is a playoff team. All right, enough talking and show us.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. We are here until 7 o'clock. It is Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. The Jays 12-8 losers to Tampa Bay today. But again, as we said, it is about resetting. It is about going on to face the Minnesota Twins. We are monitoring the Jays clubhouse celebration. We'll get any news, any color out of it to you as soon as we can. Not really, Kevin, much of a talking point out of this game, I suppose, other than that final camera shot we saw of Bo Bichette in the dugout talking to Jose Mistral and John Schneider after stumbling at third base. Obviously some concern, I would think, about the leg injury, but just based on what I'm seeing in my monitor right now in the Jays clubhouse, it looks like Bo is moving around just fine, dodging some champagne. But beyond that, Kevin, look, Wes Parsons started today for the Blue Jays, and basically the Jays just wanted what they really wanted out of Wes Parsons. Frankly, the results didn't matter. They wanted some innings so that they could avoid using the bullpen as much as possible. That's why they went with him over, for example, Bowden Francis, who they were really only more comfortable with going 2 to 3 innings. Wes Parsons, I don't think we'll be seeing him contending for the starting rotation next year. But where do you think this team is, Kevin, just in general right now, when you look at all facets in terms of health, in terms of the offense, in terms of everything?
Yeah, look, I think there's a couple of nice things. Cam Eden got his first big league hit. That's a big deal. I remember my first hit. I was having trouble running around the bases, so you'd like to give him a little love. Davis Schneider, I know it was against a lefty AAA guy, but he looked a little bit better offensively.
Broken 0 for 31. There's nothing wrong with that when you're last game before the playoffs. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
There's a couple of lefties in the Twins' pen, too, that he may be called on late in the game. Now, again, it's against a AAA guy. We know his weaknesses, right? It's fastball away, it's fastball up. This hasn't changed anything, but at least it would give, the manager a little bit of confidence to say that when he does put the ball in play, it comes off his bat good enough that it would warrant him at least thinking about giving him at bat late in the game. So, the Blue Jays haven't changed. They are what they are. It's not all of a sudden, right, putting Brandon Belt in the 2-hole and Bo Bichette in the 4-hole is all of a sudden going to turn their offense into a juggernaut. No, it's not that. It's just now I think they're harder to pitch to. They're a little bit longer because they took their hitters' strengths and put them in the right position in the batting order. And it's going to take the first 4 guys. It's going to take the rotation, keeping the lefties in the yard. They ain't going to be able to screw up on the bases. They can't make defensive woes. Their bullpen's got to punch some people out. They do that? Yeah, here they come in Houston.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. All right, it is Minnesota as the Blue Jays' opponents. Do you like that? Would you rather have had Tampa? I've said I'd rather have Tampa, even based on what I saw today. I know I'm in the minority. How do you feel about it? Do you like where the Jays are right now? Do you like where they're set up? Do you like what you've seen from them offensively? And what are your concerns about this team going into the postseason, the third time in 4 years that they will be in the postseason? Again, that will start Tuesday in Minnesota, and the Minnesota Twins are saying that Pablo Lopez is going to start wild card game 1 for them ahead of Sonny Gray. The Twins have some injury issues. It would be surprising. We had Thad Levine on, their general manager, last week. It would frankly be surprising to see Byron Buxton available in this series, but Carlos Correa looks as if he's good to go. Royce Lewis looks as if he's good to go, and Jorge Polanco was hurt yesterday. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see any further updates on him. Again, as far as the Blue Jays are concerned, they're about as healthy as they've been all year. Unless there's something going on we don't know, they're about as healthy as they've been all year. And I'm with you. We've heard, and even John Schneider today said he thought that just getting into the playoffs would take a load off the shoulders of these guys. We've heard that. We've heard that pitching and defense wins in the postseason. We've heard that all they had to do was get in there and it would take over. And, now we'll find out.
Yeah, it's real simple. Keep them in the yard, hit homers. You do those two things because you play better defense than they do. And quite frankly, I do think you have a better bullpen than the Twins do. I think you'll have a good chance of getting out of there with the win and moving on. But that's going to be a big task. Like the 3 starters for the Jays, it's not going to be easy to add and subtract and, be a little unpredictable with the fastball down if you're Gosman and be good with the slurve if you're Barrios and, all the things that goes into being who everybody is. So be interesting.
Giacomo from Windsor, whatever. I think I probably butchered your pronunciation. Go ahead. You're on Blue Jays Talk.
It's all good, Jeff. It's Jock. Well, listen, I want to tell you guys I've been listening. I listened to you guys, Blair and Barker, and post-game. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
As for the Jays, I think they didn't meet the hype, the expectation, but you know what? They played good enough. They got a chip. They got a chair. And I think not having to pitch Gosman, obviously, today, and waiting for Tuesday to pitch him. And Kevin beat me to it. I've been looking up the weather. So, yeah, the Wednesday's supposed to be really warm, and then Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be all right. But I think being lining up our pitching, I think, and we got a chip and we got a chair, I'm optimistic. I think we can do all right. I think we got a chance. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. Kevin Gosman, in 11 starts against the Twins, is 1-4 with an ERA of 6.35, a WHIP of 1.500. He's given up 8 home runs. It's not just been one bad start, Kevin. You go back to 2015, 2016, 2017. The Twins have hit him hard. He's walked a lot of Twins batters.
He's a totally different guy now. He's a 2-pitch guy now. He didn't throw
the same thing he was. Same thing he was in 2022 and 2023. Hasn't changed.
This time he was good in Minnesota. He was bad at home, right? It was you see it down, you let it go. You see it high, you let it fly. Like, that was the adjustment they made. He wasn't tipping pitches. Like, that's not the thing. That's what good teams do against really good pitching, is they try and game plan. Now, if you noticed after the start he got lit up against the Twinkies is when he started throwing the fastball down. So, for me, you can throw all those things out the window, right? You have your guy lined up. It worked out to where you could do that. And you have all three guys, I think, lined up probably the way you want them lined up. And they're pitching the way I think they want to be pitching. Now there's no excuses, right? And you have a better pen, quite frankly, than you've had in a very long time. Now, did they strike out a bunch of people? Not really, but be interesting to see who they go to.
Hazel May had a chat with John Schneider in the rather wild Blue Jays clubhouse. This is what the manager had to say.
John Schneider, congratulations. It's been an up and down year. What does it say about this group that you guys find yourself in a wild card series?
Unbelievable perseverance. These guys are pros. They've been through this before. I mean, just to survive as long as they did. I think we're playing really well right now, but the way they've kind of come together lately, it's just perseverance. They're awesome.
Perseverance from the manager's point of view as well. I mean, I got to hand it to you. Through all the ups and downs, you're really stuck with this team. It's your first full season as manager, and you're going to the postseason. What are you thinking right now?
I love this. This is why we do this. I will do this every year. I love our team. I love how we're built. And I am just so excited for the guys to go out and keep playing.
Congratulations, Sean.
Thank you, Hayes. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Kevin, last year, John Schneider, and we do extend our congratulations to John Schneider, obviously. Last year, John Schneider in that game that series against the Seattle Mariners, he admitted afterwards that he made a move too early with Kevin Gausman. Given a redo, he said he probably would have done things differently. What have we learned about John Schneider as a manager this year, and this is his first full season compared to last year when he was, let's face it, he was brought in to replace Charlie Montoyo and clean up somebody else's mess?
I think he'll do anything to make the playoffs, period, end of story.
I think we saw that yesterday with Jordan Hicks,
Nothing he won't do. Like, you need the lineup changed, I'll change it. If I need to put Bo in spots that he probably don't want to be in, I'll do it. I'll talk him into it. Like, I mean, you can think what you want about John Schneider and when he takes his starting pitcher out and whoever he puts in. I mean, I got my thoughts on that because that's a plethora of people trying to throw their 2 cents in there. But it's, again, if you want to sort of have a manager that will say this ain't working, okay, give it a week. It won't be the same. I will change it to try and force it to work. So, yeah, I think that's the one thing for me, at least, that stands out. He's a really good talker, which is what every good organization and every really good team needs, is a good talker to sell it to the fan base that, we're in it to win it.
It's interesting. You're just taking a look in the Jays clubhouse right now. It appears as if Vladdy Jr. is trying to organize some players to come out onto the field and celebrate with the fans. From where I am, I don't know, Show, there's probably, 500 or so fans, couple of hundred fans behind the Blue Jays dugout here. And Vladdy was leading the charge. Here they come. Vladdy was leading the champagne charge. There's a lot of the lads do not have any shirts on. So there you go. They're celebrating in front of the fans, and they're going to head over at some point to the grounds crew. It looks very much as if the entire team is coming out onto the field. I would imagine they will get a picture taken around the pitcher's mound as the Jays are going on to the postseason for the third time in 4 years. Mark from Markham, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Yeah, just a big kudos to 2 points I'll make. One to Major League Baseball. I mean, this 20 years ago, this wouldn't have happened, as you know, being a fan and a very good writer of the game. It used to be 2 teams made it, and now they've expanded the playoffs and given the fans, and I think properly so, the opportunity to play in these games and to extend the excitement. I mean, there's the pure historians who would love the old format, but I think they've done a great job with this, and if you look at how it's played out, it's unbelievable. I mean, as Parker said the other day, if you're a fan of baseball, you got to love it, regardless of what happened to the Jays, and I think that's a great comment. I am a fan of baseball. And the other thing is, and it's mainly to you, Kevin, on your insights in the game are just so much different than hockey or other sports, and they're really. I mean, part of it is because you played the game, but there's so much more to talk about baseball, and you do a good job with it. So, just wanted to pass that on.
Yeah, Mark, I and I can echo those sentiments. I've told Kevin on several occasions that sitting next to him and doing a show with him, it's like baseball 101. I mean, I keep mentioning this too, Kevin, about how hearing you talk about earlier this year about sort of how that first at bat sets up subsequent at bats, and you hear other players talk. I mean, it makes sense, but it's something that if you haven't played the game, you probably wouldn't understand it. So yeah, kudos, definitely kudos to you. And I mean, listen, when I started covering baseball and when the wild card concept was announced, I didn't really know what to make of it. It took me about a year to realize that you got to do this. You got to keep the excitement up. I mean, you kept us on edge right up to the end of the 162 games. That's what it's supposed to be. You know, and I think a lot of people thought originally that, well, putting a wild card in might kind of cheapen the regular season. It hasn't done that. I mean, here we are, the final game of the regular season. We had a team that many people thought was a slam dunk to go into the playoffs. The Seattle Mariners lose on the second last day of the season, then go out and beat the team that beat them and cost that team first place. And if you look at the Texas Rangers are the big losers today because they went from having a division title. Now they don't get that bye. Now that awful pitching staff has to get geared up to play in the wild card against Tampa.
Yeah.
How many other sports offer you that?
Yeah, well, the Major League Baseball is made up of a bunch of geniuses because they were sitting around a table, I'm assuming, thinking, what if the Yankees, the Mets, the Padres are not in the playoffs? How do we still keep eyeballs glued to the TV set? How do you do that? You add playoff situations to where other teams like, you know, the Cubs, the Marlins, the Diamondbacks can actually have a chance, you know, when it turns to 160-ish games and they're still in it, having a chance to go to the playoffs. So absolutely, I mean, you can turn from the American League to the National League the last day of the season and actually want to watch, which is just the coolest thing in the world if you're a baseball fan.
Hazel May just finished chatting with Kevin Kiermaier in the victorious Blue Jays clubhouse. This is Kevin Kiermaier, the Blue Jays center fielder.
Kevin Kiermaier, we're live on Sportsnet. KK, you have just so seamlessly fitted into this clubhouse. What is it about these guys that really kind of welcomed you and opened their arms to you?
You know, I just came here. I wanted to be myself. I knew I feel like I had to win over some Toronto fans. But I said, just give me time. I know the players will love me here. I know the fans will love me. I love playing hard. I love playing the right way. And I played for October. This is why I came here. I wouldn't come here just to make money and play another year. I came here for this moment, and this makes it all worth it.
It was tough to come into the Wild Card Series losing 2 straight games, but what do you tell Blue Jays fans? You know, why should they believe you guys can make a deep run at this?
Because we got the talent in this clubhouse. We got the attitude, the demeanor, and the swagger. We've been great all year. I mean, the camaraderie amongst this group is unlike any group I've ever been a part of. It's amazing. Through all the ups and downs the whole season. We got a clean slate now. It's up to us. We control our own destiny, and we wouldn't want it any other way.
All right, KK, congrats. We'll see you wherever we see you.
There we go. Thank you.
Hazel also caught up with Bo Bichette.
Bo, Mr. Triple. Bo Bichette. We're live on Sportsnet, Bo. You, Vladdy, and Kevin have been through the ups and downs ever since the minor leagues. I know it stings, doesn't it? That's why I wear a ball cap. What does it mean to you to be able to get into the playoffs again with Kevin and Vladdy by your side?
Yeah, well, not just them two. There's a few other that have been with me pretty much all the way through. So, you know, we've accomplished some great things. We've been in the postseason hunt every year and down to the last day, but yeah, but I mean, we need to take the next step, so we're excited for it.
How much has Don Mattingly meant to you during this season? He has been a huge, huge part. He's always been in the background. Let's give him some love.
Yeah, he's a steady presence for sure. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and obviously all the knowledge in the world, so we are definitely blessed to have him.
Listen, before I let you go, I got to ask you about that remarkable slide going into third. love seeing that smile on your face. You look like you kind of busted a wheel as you were rounded second. Give us a play-by-play there as you were looking at Louis Rivera.
Yeah, well, I wasn't necessarily expecting to have to go to third, and then when I got to second, I tried to turn on the jets, and I just lost my footing and was stumbling the whole way, but thank God I made it.
As always, Bo Bichette does stuff with style. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
All right, Hazel, thank you.
Congratulations there to Bo Bichette.
That is Bo Bichette, and again, based on watching him in the field here, I think that knee, that leg is just fine. If you've come to Blue Jays games this year at the Rogers Center, one of the things you've probably noticed is before the game, as the Blue Jays players finish their warm-ups, the grounds crew line up along the third baseline just before the Blue Jays dugout, and the players one by one go by and fist bump all the groundskeepers. And kind of a cool moment a little earlier, Vladdy, we mentioned this, Vladdy let everybody out in the field, and he and Matt Chapman and Santiago Espinal went over to where the grounds crew was gathered in a semicircle and ambushed them with champagne. So the Jays are still in the field. They're still celebrating with some of the fans that are here. It looks like the players' wives and some of their kids are coming onto the field as well. So quite the scene here at the Rogers Center. And, you know, who knows? Those 3 games are in Minnesota, and the Jays get past Minnesota. We may have more baseball.